Yes, everyone, you know what time it is. It's your boys Jack and Dave here to provide you guys your watch along. And we're reaching that stage of the season where this is probably one of the last, big opponents, last big games, other than Man City. We're playing another team that are in a way kind of not really a lot else to play for as well. But maybe Spurs could find a bit of motivation. It looks like Aston Villa, if they haven't, I'm not sure, they could be dropping points in their Brighton game. Spurs players, if they wanted to pick themselves up, they could use that as a bit of motivation. But yet again, Dave, we find ourselves sort of asking, can they bounce back? Can they get a bit of redemption here, this Spurs team? Are they even still playing for themselves and for Ange Postecoglou and for this club? Let's see if we can get a deserved or, a comeback or a redemption that us Spurs fans would like to see, because it has been rough of recent. I hope to see a much, much better performance today. And we've gone with a very interesting lineup of Vicario, Pedro Porro, Romero, Van de Ven. He's gone with Royale again at left back, and he's left out Lo Celso and Maddison as our, also Kulusevski, it looks like, is going to be back in the lineup, but maybe not as a number 10, because he's gone for three midfielders of Bentancur, Basuma, and Sarr. And then he's left out Richarlison. He's gone for Sonny again, likely down the middle, with Kulusevski and Johnson on the wings. Dave, thoughts on the lineup, thoughts on this game in general?
Well, I mean, if you do want to find something to maybe get yourself up for the game, Brighton did score a late winner against Aston Villa. So if we can win today, maybe we could put top four back in our hands, or at least put a bit of pressure on Villa with their final games remaining. So, I don't know how we found ourselves in this situation, Jack, but we came into it with no hope, and now all of a sudden, if we win, we can maybe chase down top four again. So the opportunity's there. Look, this Liverpool team isn't in the greatest of forms, on the running in this campaign. One thing is Virgil van Dijk is back in today, so on set pieces and corner kicks, especially to stop that threat. That's a concern of mine. But apart from that, when you get into the Tottenham lineup, Jack, I mean, look, I know a lot of people were calling for Dragusin, but there's no way Postecoglou could have started Dragusin after his agent questioning his tactics, his formation, and basically saying if he doesn't get played, he could end up looking for a move. And I think he sort of said Conte potentially going to Napoli, and that could be a potential destination for him. And for me, if he started him today, that shows weakness, but also sets a bad precedent to everybody else. When you look at the cultures of other clubs, with Guardiola, Klopp at Liverpool, for instance, today, and stuff like that, players' agents don't come out and say them things because it wouldn't fly with under their regime. And, I think Postecoglou made a bold statement there today, putting Emerson out there. Now, don't get me wrong, he's going to have a tricky time up against Mo Salah. I've no doubt you'll probably see Harvey Elliott work his way down that side and look to get a 2-on-1 situation, try and get a bit of joy down there along with Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. So it's going to be a really tricky evening for Emerson, and hopefully he can stand up to the battle. One thing I think he is good defensively. He let me down against Chelsea. He's rumoured to be on one of the list on the way out of the club. It's a huge opportunity for him to maybe try and change a few people's minds, Jack.
Yeah, I hope for a big bounce back performance from our man Emo in this game. He did have, I remember at one stage, I think it was at Anfield, a very, very good performance under Antonio Conte at right wing back. I remember against Liverpool, but we're going to be without his Brazilian partner in crime in Richarlison, which is a huge call, I think, by Ange Postecoglou. He's made two huge calls. One of them is being, his continued pressure on Maddison. The fact that he has dropped him once again, that is an interesting call, a big call, in fact. And also with Lo Celso, right? Pretty much, I think, puts down any sort of rumors that guy is going to be sticking around here, that guy is going to be signing a new contract extension or anything like that, because the fact that he hasn't included him again does really show how he feels about the player. And it's interesting. I think he's gone for some big calls today, Ange Postecoglou. We'll see if it pays off.
Look, in terms of the midfield, Jack, I think it's a huge call not playing a Maddison or a Lo Celso in terms of the creativity. Many would probably question where that's come from. I did say something the last few weeks that I think Bentancur, weirdly enough, has actually been the most creative in that midfield. And maybe Andrew's gone off that philosophy and put him in there. It's the midfield you picked in the pre-match build-up. But I also think he's gone for a bit more of a hard-working midfield as well. I think that's why maybe one of the creative players has been taken out. In terms of the forward line, it's interesting. Look, Johnson got a lot of the ball, but he didn't complete one successful cross when you look at the stats after the game. Not one, and he had two of our biggest opportunities and spurned both of them. I don't understand why he's being rewarded with another start and Richarlison is being dropped to the bench. I don't understand that. People make the argument that Richarlison wasn't involved in the game. But, I mean, we all know that Richarlison isn't Harry Kane. He's not going to create for himself and stuff like that. He relies on service. What do you want him to do? Head of fresh air. Go and compete for fresh air. If the ball ain't coming in, it's not his problem. It's not his fault to a large degree. So, look, we'll see how this quarter goes today, putting some back down the middle. I worry a bit slightly because watching him up against Arsenal, against the big physical centre-backs, he didn't want to hold that line. He didn't want to be up there. So it'd be interesting whether maybe he drops deep and we look to put the wingers in behind and stuff like that. Interesting. But we'll see how it gets on at the end of the day, Jack. No one's really expecting much today. So, don't aim for too much and hopefully we come out with everything.
Well, everybody, thank you again for picking us as your watch-along destination. If you can for us, smash that like button. Do get your comments in, your thoughts ahead of the game, score predictions, all that good stuff. Even Leighton Evelyn is joining us thinking that we're happy clapping. I'm not sure if we can, happy clap as hard as we would like to at this stage, Leighton. I can never predict Spurs to lose, but I'm not going into this one with the most confidence. I would say, though, he has gone with a midfield that I would have preferred in this game, Ange Postecoglou. Is that a sign that we either get absolutely, drubbed today to Leighton, or is that a sign that maybe we could get something out of this? Let's hope so. But big up, everybody. Only so many roller coasters left, only so many of these watch-alongs that we have left this season. So once again, just want to say thank you so much for picking us as your destination. We're going to go to the chat, though. We have Tottenham Teacher in the house. Good to see you, Mario. Hopefully you are keeping well this morning. Up nice and early, I imagine. Darren Kilbane saying, don't get Son up top again with Richarlison fit. Son has been very poor the last few games. Listen, it's a big call from Ange Postecoglou, I think, to drop Richarlison, knowing that he probably is, I think, for the most part, fully fit, unless there's something that maybe could have happened. But he has gone for something different. He's gone for maybe a chance to, get him behind that Liverpool back line. Perhaps he backs his team to do so, and that Liverpool won't be sitting back against us. Sue Smith says, cheer up, we could always be wet spam. I mean, they got absolutely drubbed today. What was it, a 4-0, I think? Sue Smith could have easily been more. Moyes is definitely, I think, ending his career there with a bit of a whimper. Tottenham Teacher has gone for Vic. I think he's just reading out the lineup. Mark is in the house, member of the Mark Army. Always good to see Mark. He's saying Van Dijk starts. No doubt he will score from a set piece. Yeah, I said that to the members, Mark, that if anybody's a betting man, I would probably put a brace on Van Dijk today, to score from a set piece for sure. Almost a certainty. Big up to Darren Kilbane as well. Derek Hutchinson. Hopefully you're keeping well, Derek Hutchinson. Appreciate your support. Antonio Montana saying, let me start with Enoch and Levy out. Let's get that in nice and early. Hey, you would be the first one to throw in your first Enoch and Levy out in the chat, so there's always a first one, and I'd definitely get a trophy for that. NJ123, big up to Shemtan as well. Hey, Dave and Jack, worried about Jack's midfield lineup today. Where's the creativity coming from? I'm not sure, Shemtan. I've gone for legs, I've gone for hard work, and just players that I think will, run for this manager as well as fight for the badge more than recent players have, and I just feel like Maddison, he's not really offered that much creativity. So how different, if he's going to continue to play the same way, how different really would Bentancur be? He could actually probably offer something kind of similar, but maybe it's just a bit better because he's going to work a little bit harder off of the ball, very good defensively in the press, and has that sort of knack to, end up with a goal here and there, I think, as a midfielder with those late runs into the box. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's ideal. I don't think it makes a ton of sense for a long-term sort of situation or solution, but, I don't think Lo Celso really deserves to play, nor do I really think that Maddison, has deserved to play with his recent form, and that's just, my kind of opinion on the midfield right now, Shem. But Dave, I mean, that's probably the main concern people have, right, is there is probably a concern with a lack of creativity with the midfield that I told Ange to go for.
Look, I get it, but I'd also argue, where's the creativity been anyway? Regardless whether you play a guy that's seen as more creative, where's it been? It's been nullified. So we haven't had any creativity from that midfield in a long time. And in fairness to Ange Postecoglou, he's trying things. People say he doesn't try things, he's stubborn. He put out a complete new midfield three against Chelsea than what he did against another change in the midfield again today. So, I get people are concerned, but at the end of the day, do you want him to keep persisting and not trying anything? At least he's trying.
Yeah, he's trying different things here, Shem. Big up to MV Joker Davis as well. Appreciate your support as a member of the Flat Cap Army. Mikey Moore on the bench again. Come on, you Spurs. That's exciting, isn't it?
Look, if we lose today, I want to see Mikey Moore fill in for the last 3-4 games of the season and give him the opportunity, because the minutes that he gets will benefit him going into next season, help him develop as a player, and he can learn from it. So if we do lose today and our season is over, then that's where I'll be throwing the minutes. But it's good to see that, we are looking at these academy prospects, and we are looking to give them an opportunity. So hopefully, it'd be nice. He's been on the bench, Chelsea. I know it's nice for him to be on the bench at that age, but I'm sure he'd like to take part in one of the games. And if things don't go too well today, I'd bring him off the bench. What have you got to lose at this point? No one else is doing their job.
Big up to Reagan as well. Vandal Ross as a member. Big up to you, Vandal. James Paratrooper saying Villa lost top 4 is still in our hands. Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, it's still up for grabs. Hennessy's in the house as well. Big up to you, Hennessy. Appreciate your support, sir, as a member. Beyond 72, Conrad's in here too. A swear-along, no doubt, might be one of those. Conrad, hopefully you can cover your ears when it reaches that stage. King Hoddle is in here as well. Afternoon, I'm fully expecting a defeat. Maybe they can surprise me, though. Come on, you Spurs. I think a lot of people might be in a similar mindset. King Hoddle. James Coffey, though, is in here. Big up to you, Jamesy. He says, I wonder if Maddison is one of the players that hasn't bought into the Ange style of play. That would be a bad situation. I mean, Dave, thoughts on that? Could Maddison be one of the players Ange is alluding to that's not fully bought in and might start having some question marks over the tactics?
I think there's a degree of that, maybe 100%. Look, sorry. I think Maddison was brought here under false pretenses regardless. I think Maddison was expecting here to come in here and link up with Harry Kane personally. That didn't happen. But I think when you look at Maddison, right, he's more of a creative player. He wants to be in behind that midfield and get into spaces and receive the ball. But with that license, but we also are holding him to account in terms of you have to work hard as well as everybody else. And I don't think that's Maddison's game. He doesn't really want to be working hard defensively and stuff like that. And I think maybe there is a degree that he's not buying fully into the system. But again, if that is the case, Ange Postecoglou has to hold him to account for that. Maddison ain't here to dictate what role he plays. He hasn't earned that right in a Tottenham jersey yet. Bigger than this football club. Nope. James Maddison certainly isn't. So, I mean, if there is that element, I think I'm just doing the right thing. Put him to the bench, and if he doesn't want to buck up his ideas, no problem. You're not going yours, son.
I think you cut out for a little bit there, Dave. But I think for the most part, I think we got that one.
Yeah.
But James, I think with Maddison, man, I wonder if he, has been a player that originally, right, was saying a lot of great things about Ange, but now when he looks back on it, I wonder if he would take any of that back, because he has not been the same player. He's not really taking the same risks as he was earlier in the season. Just has been an entirely different player since coming back from his injury. You wonder if it's really just the injury, and you wonder if it's really just him being in bad form. And Postecoglou, right? No matter who you are, no matter how good you are, really, unless I guess maybe you're a Messi or a Ronaldo or something. Most players, if they're in a bad run of form, you do have to find an opportunity to drop them and give somebody else a chance, and then bring them back into the fold once they're ready to start challenging again. And perhaps that's just what he's doing here with Maddison. There could be something deeper, and if it is something deeper, very, very serious indeed, because we brought him in for big money. He was brought in to sort of replace the creativity of Harry Kane in some sort of manner. And he hasn't been doing that of recent, and that would be a big deal if then we're to just sort of give up on him. Dark Sun G says, come on, you Spurs. Once again, Maddison is on the subs bench. Sarr as a cam is interesting. Dark Sun G, I'm thinking it might be Bentancur as a, maybe a creative, more midfield role. You could see them both getting forward and both getting into the box, but Sarr does offer those legs, defensively to track back. You feel like, too, he's very involved in the press, as well as also kind of seeing out any danger from a counterattack, whereas Bentancur might have that just extra little, quality when it comes to playing in the tight areas, the tight spaces in the final third. Not saying he's going to be as good as a Maddison or anything like that, but I think with how poor Maddison has been of recent, Bentancur might be able to offer something, slightly better, with, I just think he hasn't been playing as poor as maybe some people might think. I'm interested, Dark Sun G, what you think, but Bentancur, I think, might be the cam today. Dave, if you were to pick, is it just going to be both of them getting forward, or is one of them going to have a more defensive role?
Look, I think to a degree, two of them are going to be tasked with getting forward and trying to help the attacking player. But I do think a lot of the onus will be on Bentancur, to probably create that spark. Because I've argued so many times, don't think you can take Papa Massar out of that position because of the work rate he does, tracking back, helping down that right hand side, and helping it lock up. So I do think a lot of it will be put on Bentancur. And let's not forget, Bentancur can do this. Under Conte, he was scoring goals, creating goals, and everything else. He can do this. He's just sort of struggling getting back from injury, and he's been given an opportunity today. And I think it's a good idea because we can try and play him back into some sort of form heading into next season because a fully fit Bentancur and a Bentancur that's on form walks straight into this midfield regardless of who we have. So I think it's a wise decision, and I think he could surprise a lot of people today because I think they forget how creative he was under Conte to a degree.
And then also Dark Sun G says, come on, you Spurs. I predict a 1-2 goal win. Sun to score with a Cootie goal as well. I would love to see that, Dark Sun G. It's also your derby. It's the Dark Sun G derby between you and your Out Loud, as well as for Dave. I know this is a bit of a derby for himself between him and his buddies over in Ireland. Yeah. Lots of Irish Spurs fans. Dark Sun G, I'm not sure, how popular Liverpool is in Korea, but I know you have a little local derby yourself going on in the household. So let's get a win for yourself here. Maybe a bit of salvation, just an extra bit of a something to be happy about towards the end of the season. And I would love a Rom Bomb. He's been due one. He's just been missing them. Dark Sun G. He's been missing lots of chances. He's been probably our best attacker of recent. And then Sonny, if there is that space in behind, we know it's a totally different game for Sonny when there is that space in behind. And let's hope that there is so he can take advantage of it. Big up, Dark Sun G. Yeah. I like your optimism, my friend. It's always good to have somebody in the house that's at least feeling, that there's a chance of something here. Adrian Chia says, credit to Jack for getting the midfield 3 spot on. Come on, you Spurs. Well, you can blame me for today then, everybody, if things do go wrong. It's what I told Ange to go with. Of course, Ange has no choice or no decision himself. He does wait for Dave and I to give him, his marching orders on the team and on the 11. And I went for this midfield today, and he said, you know what, Jack, I think we'll go with it. And I think that sounds about right. That's what I had in mind as well. And so anybody, feel free to blame me if things do go wrong. Big up, Adrian Chia. I've gone for. I know you have the Basuma third kit. I've gone for the Sunny swimsuit third kit. So like I said, of any of the third kits that you've ever been disappointed in, I still wear this Sunny swimsuit one with pride. Of course, because it has Sun's name on the back. I think that makes it a whole lot better. But, having to, try to rock a swimsuit kit can be tough at times. It can be tough. Big up to you, Adrian Chia. And then Dark Sun G says, I hope Bentancur and Johnson score because it's about time. Dave, Bentancur, I'd say it's hard to know. I mean, Johnson, he's the sort of guy, right, that pulls up a stinker in one game and then might actually have a better game the one right after. Do you see him scoring? I mean, he really missed some chances to make anything happen in the last game.
I mean,
he could have had assists, he could have had goals, he could have had plenty.
Look, I've gone early on Johnson. For me, I think he's a good squad player in terms of if you want to make rotations for teams down in the relegation zone, cup games and stuff like that. I think he'll come in, he'll grab you goals and assists in terms of that regard. A lot of his impacts have actually been off the bench this season rather than him starting games. But I am of the opinion, the bigger the game, the worse he gets and the more he goes hiding. Newcastle completely went hiding. Arsenal completely went hiding. Chelsea the other night completely went hiding. And what I mean by that is if he really had the desire to make something happen, he would have made Cucurella work for a block. He didn't. He completely shits the bed in the big games. He doesn't have the nerves or the composure for it. And for me, I don't think you're ever going to see that really change with Brennan Johnson or see the consistency that many want from him unless his mentality and mindset changes. Cole Palmer at Chelsea has produced over a large part of this season. Even though he wasn't great the other night, it was still his free kick that he got on target, walloped the bar that they scored from. And he's younger than Brennan Johnson, but the reason why he's better and more consistent is because he has a much better mentality. Yeah. And that's the difference. So for me, I'm not expecting anything from Brennan Johnson today. I know people are going to say, Dave, don't write him off, stop being so negative and everything else. It's now up to him to get me to have faith in him. I was just starting to, but then all the same problems have come back and reared its head again. He's a purple patch player. For me, it's up to him to prove me wrong today. Let's see what he does. Look, we have one more opportunity to try and go for top 4 today with Villa dropping points. It's a huge ask to go and get 3 points at Anfield. But if he doesn't contribute, we're definitely not getting 3 points, because a lot of big chances fall his way. Even some of the chances that we had to score against Chelsea to try and get ourselves back in the game, he couldn't even get them on target. So he better turn up today. He better realise that there's one last opportunity. The whole squad better realise there's one last opportunity today to try and salvage something from this season. Do everything you can.
We also have big up Dark Sun G. I'm hoping for goals today. I'm hoping for at least just a performance that we can, find some sort of solace with, find some sort of pride with. Doesn't even have to be a win, Dark Sun G. And I would love to see Bentancur. And Johnson, I just feel like, is one of those characters where he will pull up a stinker in one game and then probably just score the opening goal in the one right after. He's that sort of guy. Dropkick Your Teacher. Artist is in the house too. Good to see you, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well. We have Machina Joe. Ed Sweeting, good to see you, Ed Sweeting. Appreciate your support as a member. Big up Jack and Dave. Another new midfield combination. I think there will be more space in behind, so Ange is probably thinking Son is better in this game. I would have played Richie too, though. Yeah, I think a lot of us were expecting Richie, but he has gone for something slightly different. He's made some big calls today, Ed Sweeting. Big up to you, though, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well. Dr. Johnny's in here. Keith Browning, Leighton Evelyn, like I said earlier. Big up to you, Leighton Evelyn. We also have Singularity, Daniel Larson. Good to see you, Daniel Larson. Hopefully things are keeping well. DB is in the house too. Good to see you, DB. Appreciate your support, my friend. Calvin is in here. Good to see you, Calvin. Martin Knightsbridge, the one and only Martin Knightsbridge. Sue Smith, AK Shags. Darren as well. So many of you lovely people. Skunky Works as well. And then I think just a while ago, Martin Knightsbridge with the super chat saying, Ants just said he's too hard on the players.
I don't think he's hard enough. Look, for me, Andrew's behind the closed doors. Him being animated on the sideline is a rarity. Don't get too used to that. That's when things are really going wrong. But he does a lot of his grinning and a lot of his demands and, bollocking and stuff like that behind the scenes, away from the cameras and stuff like that. And maybe he has been harsh on them over of late. But at the end of the day, I mean, who wouldn't be? The fans are even harsher, and at the end of the day, they're rightly so. If they're not producing and they're not performing, what do they expect? This is the problem at Tottenham Hotspur. We're expected to still continue to wipe their backsides, kiss them, get on the ground, adore them as they walk by and shit like that. I'm sorry, I'm just not that sort of guy. I have demands, and if you don't meet it, I'm going to let you know about it, especially as a football fan, and that's that. And Ange has to hold accountability. He says he's being harsh, but he's still dropped Madison, still keeping true to his word in that degree. So, does he mean it? Maybe he doesn't. Let's wait and see.
Good to see Derek Hutchinson in the house as well. Hopefully you're keeping well, Derek Hutchinson, the one and only. But everybody, Scotty Heinem, Lee Harvey, Kev Williams, big up Kev Williams. Appreciate your support, my friend. And Martin Knightsbridge followed up, Patty Higgins as well. Martin Knightsbridge following up saying he did say sometimes after that. Maybe. I think he's trying to take some pressure off everyone, right? Trying to take a bit of pressure off himself, trying to take a bit of pressure off the players, right? He had to show like a reaction. He had to show frustration. Yeah. He had to show anger, but then he's not going to double down on it and say, yeah, I'm still pissed with my players or something like that. He has to, in a way, try to calm the waters a little bit, maybe with the media and just sort of the outlook with everything. So that's probably why he even mentioned probably the sometimes afterwards, but then didn't want to just take it all back. It's not like you show that sort of frustration and then take it all back the next day and say everything's good. So I think he's just playing that sort of media games here, Martin Knightsbridge, and he's been much kinder to these players than Antonio Conte ever was, than Jose ever was. Even Nuno, right? Nuno just straight savage, just made a B team, for some of these players. So you could say that Ange has done a much better job in trying to keep everybody happier, trying to keep everybody involved. But of course, it's still ruthless business, and it's about results, and it's about who you think can trust can deliver you the results. What's the stories in here too, Dave? He's saying, I hate Liverpool. Like I said, Dark Sun G, it's the Davo Derby as well. It's the Harris Derby as well as the Dark Sun G Derby today.
No, look, the old lad, he doesn't like Liverpool as well. You wonder where I get it from. But look, Aston Villa have breathed life into this game where it seemed like all oxygen was sucked out of it by their defeat. We now have another outside chance at going for top four. Let's try and breathe some life back into our own season here rather than relying on other people. A lot of Tottenham fans hate Liverpool. In fact, a lot of fans around the Premier League hate Liverpool because even when you're watching panel shows and they're not even speaking about them, they find some way to turn it back to them, and I'm absolutely sick of it. So I just want to give them an absolute humbling, and I want to send Coco Klops off with tissues. That'll be absolutely brilliant. One last chance. Let's see what we're bloody made of. Come on, I'm pumped for this. I really want to beat these so bad because I know what's coming my way if we don't.
Yeah, let's hope for some Jurgen tears today, everybody. Like I said in the pre-match build-up, I felt like, Liverpool, they're a team that's probably, had their party pretty much smashed, destroyed, nothing really to be that happy about anymore. They have a new manager coming through the door. With Klopp, like, maybe some fans are sort of, wanting to see everything at least end with, some wins. But I do feel like the place is probably a bit down. I wonder if they are kind of just sort of as well, kind of hoping for the season to end, relatively quickly. And so that means maybe we can take advantage of a sorrow or kind of a sad Liverpool kind of a team right now. Let's hope we can do it. But don't get me wrong. I'm under no illusion or under no, I'm usually under plenty of delusion. I'm under plenty of delusion, but I'm not really expecting, a win or anything like that today. But if it were to come, if it were to happen, I could see it being just that, the Liverpool team, they're not really behind Klopp anymore. They already know he's out the door. You just wonder if they're going to be trying to finish the season on a high or if they're kind of on the beach themselves at this stage. So come on, you Spurs. there's my speech beforehand. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, everyone.
Set pieces today as well. Let's try and defend like Trojans from them. Van Dijk's in the squad. Trent Alexander-Arnold is an expert delivery. So, if we can get that right and we cannot concede goals from there, we have a huge opportunity today. Like I said, out of nowhere, suddenly there's something hanging on this game. And what I will say, I don't think we play City till after next weekend. So if Arsenal drop points at the weekend, it puts it back in City's hands, which means then we can go and beat them without Arsenal winning the league. So let's do our job today and see what happens over the course of next weekend. But let's go. We're underway here. Come on, Spurs. Back in the all-white, which I absolutely love to see. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I thought we would have gone with the blue.
Van de Ven, good ball in.
Pedro Porro, great hold-up play earlier.
What was that, Sonny? For fuck's sake, will you wake up?
Sonny already.
First pass, he's already putting us back under pressure.
It's the battle of the teams at the beach here, everybody. Let's see what happens. Pedro Porro. Basuma. Gone for a huge switch of play, but it gets blocked.
You must be listening to me, Jacko. He's gone for the switch.
He's gone for the switch, and
the only thing he'd have right now is a Nintendo Switch. Basuma. Papa Matsar wins it back. Sonny, Porro, Sonny.
There you go. That's
back
crisp.
to Rombom.
Van de Ven. Nicely done by Johnson.
Awake for once. Play him, Emo.
Emo. Into Sonny. It's crisper.
Establishing a bit of early possession here, which is good. Take their noise out of their crowd out.
Romero, great pass. Into Sar. Kulu, out wide. Basuma, into Sonny now. Sonny, first time. This is nice. This is nice.
Done, Basuma, great ball. Come on, Kulu. Whip that in with the left.
A little poke into the box.
That's
Pedro.
a good ball. Corner?
It's out for a corner. Well done.
Let's go and score one of our own. Come on! It's a good...
Yeah, it's sharp. It's crisp from some of the players. Oh.
It's a good start, and it's important to start well at Anfield so you can quieten down their crowd.
Pedro Porro with a corner here.
Come on, Porronator. We believe. We believe, Porro. Come on.
The Porronator.
Postman.
Whips it in. Back post, really to no one.
No.
Sonny. Slips, but
go on,
okay, first touch. Well done, Sonny. Gets past.
Oh, well done. That's a free ref. We'll have that. We'll have that one,
Paul
too.
Tierney giving us a nice early free kick here. Dark Sun G.
Yeah,
Paul Tierney, I feel like he's never that kind to us. I can't really remember, but it's a nice foul that he's given us there.
I mean, what's Trent even remonstrating for? To be brutally honest, what is he remonstrating with the referee? He's got a grip of him and he's kicked his shins. Oh, dumbass.
Good to see you, Ed Martin. Good to see you, Stevie Frazier. Good to see you, Tony Austin. Tony Austin saying, keep the score under 10, lads. I'm not even sure if the scoreboard can go that high, Tony. So let's hope we don't have to get
60
there.
minutes. Keep us in it to 60 minutes, I'll be happy. Come on. This is another true test of the Porro's ability. Come on, good delivery here, kid. I can vision this. Rombone, back post. He wants it. He's begging. Pedro Porro with the delivery. Ooh, Sarnia gets on Basuma. I was getting flashbacks of Wanyama years ago there. Remember, he rocketed one in and no one expected it from him.
I do wonder if like Basuma can actually really be a number 8 if he's that poor at shooting. Like he's great at so many other things, but he loves a souvenir into the stands. Like the guy just, I don't get it. Like he just loves to balloon it anytime that he's outside the box.
That one nearly travelled over the Irish Sea here to Dublin, Jack.
It shows that he's such a defensive-minded person that he goes for that sort of shot, because then he knows, everybody can track back for a goal kick. Maybe he's just taking an unselfish sort of approach.
I'll have to go and hang out the window in a minute to collect that one.
But he really does love those sort of ballooned ones. Well done from Emerson there. Great strength. Oh, he's given a foul.
Jesus
Christ. Good strength
from
Emo.
He's at it already. They're going to get every decision today. Any tackle we make on them, they're going to get, because the referee will be shit scared after what happened last time.
Sonny, pressure on Allison here.
It's a good press. Good press.
Good press from
Come on,
Johnson
Brennan.
and Sonny. Great press from Johnson
well done.
and Sonny.
Make him clear it. Well done. That's it.
Emo.
Basuma.
Or no, Basuma, sorry.
Emerson to put it in behind him. Can he get on the end of it? Mo Salah chasing him down.
I like it, Emo.
Good. Well done.
Well done,
First,
Emo.
it was important. The first pass was had composure.
Pedro, see you later. But he leaves Kulu a little
Jesus
short.
Christ, he's caught napping. Oh, no.
Leaves him a little
Robertson
short.
gets
Well
it
done,
in into Vicario.
See if you can transition here, lads.
Kulu with a sleep. Kulu half asleep there. Someone set off his alarm clock, will they? It's a long ball into Sonny. If you can get it,
nice.
Well done. Great header.
Well done, Sonny.
Play it forward, Bentoncourt.
Tries to poke it in Asara. I think he dribbled into a hole there. Well done. Pick that up, Sonny. There you go.
Well
Great
done.
touch
Come on,
from Bentoncourt.
Rodrigo. Get it out to Johnson. Skin
Let's go
him.
to
It's
Johnson
the only
now.
reason you're in the team.
Come
Put
on,
it in the
Johnson.
box.
Into Emerson.
Oh, Lord.
Basuma. Inside Liverpool's half here. Romero
Romy.
sprays it out wide to Kulusevski on the right
Kulu,
here.
you've all the time in the world. Do something.
Oh, see, that's when you don't like to see that when they're going back to...
He's all the time in the world
Doesn't need
there.
to go
Just
back
skin
there.
his
He's
man
got
and
tons
put
of
it in the
space
box.
as well. Now he's got even worse space. Basuma, well done. Well done,
this is
Basuma.
brilliant.
Moving it quickly.
Back to Basuma. Play him.
Sir!
Come on, Basuma. Ref, we'll have that. That's an elbow back into the face. We'll have that.
A half-hearted, sir.
Where's the VAR? I want it. I want it checked. I don't want a replay. Basuma's asking for a replay here. I'm pretty sure there was an elbow in there. Okay, no, fair enough. He fell. Oh, well, if you don't ask, you don't get, I suppose, Jackal.
Yeah, sharp start, though, I would say. Good one-touch passing in periods. Sonny's hold-up play has gotten
we're not
better.
getting the ball into the box.
Sonny's hold-up play is looking sharper than it has in other games so far. It's
Do you
only
know what?
just
He's
begun.
actually done well dropping in and linking up play. That
He's just getting touches. He's getting touches.
That cushioned header back to Bentoncourt was quality.
He's at least getting touches on it. Pedro
Oh,
Porro.
well done, Porro. Oh, my Lord. He's at
They're
it.
definitely giving them the free kicks here.
Holy Jesus Christ.
Pressure by Sonny on
random names out
Allison.
in the chat and send them on a referee fucking course.
Oh, good pressure from Bentoncourt. Can we win that?
Romy.
Good turn as well. What a turn.
He's an animal.
Kulu.
Postman. He's just an animal. He's an absolute
Well done,
savage, remember.
Basuma. Great turn
go
from
on.
Basuma.
Oh,
Great
well
ball
done.
carrying.
One he is.
Sar. Romero. Van de Ven.
Look at Johnson. He wants it. He's begging.
Yeah, see Johnson. Someone make
Now
a run
go.
for him. Make a run for him.
Oh, he good. Oh, Lord,
not a
that
great
is
touch from Johnson. Big clunky
He's
there.
so pathetic.
A big clunky. Balling behind, down Emerson's
He's off.
side.
He's about 10
Salah.
yards offside.
One-on-one with Emo.
Outside the boot.
Oh, off the bar. Outside the foot from Salah. Vicario caught
Cheeky.
out.
Robertson.
Over
Elliott,
the top.
over the top.
Oh, this is dangerous.
What defended by
Van de
Van de
Ven.
Ven. Takes it off Salah's toes.
Emerson
And Emerson
clears.
completes the clearance.
Oh,
And Porro completes it as well. What defending there by Mickey Van de Ven for
very
taking
good
that right
defending
off
from
Mo
Mickey
Salah's
Van de
toe.
Ven. Very good defending.
It's unbelievable. Nearly had a side order of salad there. More salad. Go on, Johnson. That's your... Oh, he's so asleep. I mean, I would question if that guy would be awake for a 7 o'clock kickoff. That's it. Force him back.
Someone in the midfield's got a clamp. Get there, Poro.
That's yours, Poro. That's yours. Back to Vic. Well done.
Oh, wow.
Good
Good pass
ball,
from
Vic.
Vic. What a touch from Kulu. Kulu, come back. Kulu, you have Basuma. Pedro. What a pass.
Oh, good ball into Bentancur. Onto Sarr. We're looking a bit saucy here. Sarr.
Very poor from Sarr. Bad giveaway.
Elliot with Salah on the overlap on Van de Ven.
Oh, please,
what a save by Vicario.
What a save,
what a block by Romero off the line.
Oh, my Lord, Sarr. This is what happens with
Sarr
Spurs.
needs to wake up. He can't get caught in possession like that in this game.
These are the type of goals that we do concede, though, Dave. How much is that is even on Ange there? It's just such a bad giveaway.
Yeah.
We had such great possession there. We were about to break. We broke the press. We broke the press there. And then Sarr just has the touch of a truck.
Two of Liverpool's best attacks this game have come off the back of us giving away possession. One there by Sarr and the other cross by Robertson earlier on by Kulusevski not linking up. What a block by Romero, by the way. Vicario's well
look
beaten.
How he does that.
He nearly takes that one in the goalies, Jack. That's how much it means to him. He nearly took that one in the baby makers.
What a block from Romero there. This is what I've been saying the past few games. As much as Van de Ven has also had some superb defensive moments so far this game. But Romero, the way he anticipates danger like that, that's what's so impressive. Kulu. Deep in Liverpool's half here. We were saved from conceding there. Despite really good play, we were all of a sudden... Is Johnson offside? Wow.
Oh, please, end the experiment now. End it now.
But it's great play, though, from Spurs. And then we end up, being our own worst enemies once again. It's just an example of us kind of shooting ourselves in the foot, being our own worst enemies.
How long can the defenders keep them in the game like that, though? You know what I mean? At some point, one of them's going to have to wake up and help them out here.
But you can't expect to... You can't expect, players to give the ball away in situations like that because we did all the hard parts and then all of a sudden, the easiest part, that's where we give it away. Like, that's where you scratch your head.
But like you said, we showed great composure. Poro's ball out to Bentancur, took down nicely out of the air, and then we just buck it up. It's the story of Tottenham's season or the last few...
Basuma.
Great ball.
Oh, you can't. How'd you miss him? Oh, lads. What a recovery from Basuma, but poor pass. Salah.
Emerson up against Mo Salah. Right. Do not let him get into the box like that. He's just cuts inside. Oh, good block, Bentancur.
Well done, Sonny.
Well done, Sonny. Johnson, just
Get
go.
On your bike,
just
Sonny.
Go to the other end of the pitch with a bit of purpose, please. Go. That'll do. He done well there. He held it up, got us up the field. I'll take that. The midfield players just stand around there. We need more movement.
Basuma.
Oh,
bit of a blind pass. Get there,
Kulu.
Get there, Sarr.
Well done, Sarr.
Well done,
Brilliant,
Sarr. Great
Ref
strength.
will have that whenever. Whenever you want to give it to us.
Great strength from Sarr. Great shielding. Unbelievable. He
Great
had
play.
3 players all over him. Yeah, he at least took 2 or 3 fouls there.
I mean, I don't understand how it took the referee so long to blow that. I just want us to be more decisive. Like now, when we get the ball out wide, I want us to be more decisive. Here we go.
Ball in, Kulu!
It just doesn't fall to Sarr. Of course, the ball in the bounce won't bounce to a Tottenham in a white shirt. It's so bloody annoying. Chelsea the other night, about 50 of them fell their way, and it never falls our way.
Good start.
That's better from Johnson, though. By the way, that's much better. One touch, decisive ball into the box. That's what we want. I'm happy with the first 12 minutes to a degree in terms of, the fact that
I think we have been the better team.
Liverpool.
We have definitely been the better team so far. It's just...
Don't get me wrong, Liverpool have had the better chances, but the fact it's not all Liverpool is encouraging. All the way back to Alisson, son on the press, going on to Virgil van Dijk. Ooh.
Get there. Oh, Johnson.
He's just so slow off it. Poro, you have to realise the danger up against Diaz. Get out to him.
Well done.
It's all right. Van de Ven has it. Kulu. That's brilliant. That's a free.
Good tracking back.
Has he not given a free kick there? Oh, Lord, he hasn't.
Is that not a free kick?
Oh, my God. He's
What?
completely just come across Kulu and pulled him down to the ground. Okay, so...
That's a foul. Is he actually given a set piece?
I mean, he practically...
What?
It was like he was practically on his back like Kulu was giving him a piggyback. It's bloody embarrassing. And he's let them take the short corner. He didn't even know anything about it while he's talking to Tottenham players. If this goes in, this is a goal.
Are you kidding me? Oh, my God, it's not in. Oh, he's offside, maybe. But
if that went in, that would have been a bloody joke.
That would have been a joke. Oh, my Lord.
Referee didn't even know they took it, and he still let them away with it. He's supposed to wait for his whistle. He's calling Tottenham players over to speak to them.
Yeah, he's at 10 yards offside there, Salah.
Johnson again at the back post there, though. Didn't feel with too much confidence.
No, definitely not. Pedro.
Porro.
We'll switch a play into Bentancur. Can he hold it up? Well done by
Oh,
Sarr.
well
Oh, my Lord. What a touch as well. Sonny.
What play by
Kulu,
Sarr?
just get rid. There you go. Kulu.
Get in the box.
God, man, take your space. Sonny. There you go. Bentancur. Basuma. Lovely
Great
by
ball.
Basuma. Sonny, great touch. Basuma. He's been sharp, Basuma. He's been sharp.
Yeah.
Emerson.
Oh, good ball
there
back
you go,
by Romero.
Emerson. Pedro. Basuma.
Basuma. Get out to Johnson.
Sarr.
Feed him on the
Take
overlap.
your space, Sarr.
Sarr. To Johnson. Johnson. Oh, that's shocking.
Why is he hitting a first time like that?
Oh.
God, his crossings are terrible, man. He does not know
Let's
how to
have a
cross
look.
the ball. He just doesn't know.
Goes
how to
out to
cross the ball.
Papamat Sarr, drives forward, plays Johnson on the overlap,
just
and he's
a
put it
no
into
one.
an area where there's not even one player. He hasn't even tried to pick out a player.
He just doesn't know what he's crossing to or where. Or,
No.
It's just done blindly.
It's like he's in the middle of a war zone. He's so disorientated. Well done. Tottenham turned it over again. Just gone out. Oh, that was a good opportunity there to catch them.
It's a shocking cross because he can't even hit it off a Liverpool player there.
Yeah.
It's actually a strong chance he could even fire it off one of them. Maybe it goes, deflects towards the keeper.
Do you know what, Jack? It's progress, baby steps. Last week he couldn't get the cross, and at least he's getting it in now.
Now he's gotten it in. That's fair. Gakpo.
Next week, might get some end product.
Gakpo, back post.
Oh,
Salah,
it's a free header. It's 1-0 Liverpool. It's way too easy. Who switched off there? It's a complete switch off at the back post. I think Emerson lost Salah there. Let's have another look at it. From one opportunity up the red end, and that's how shit we are up front. We plays a really good opportunity. We go down the other end and just get punished. Oh.
Such an easy goal as well. It's had a lot of space at that back post, Salah. It's had a lot of space back there.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a Liverpool goal that's been replicated for the whole of Klopp's tenure. How we're not switched on to that by now. Ball goes out to the left winger here, out to, who's that, Diaz? Or Gakpo. And it's a good ball. He's way onside.
Yeah,
Emerson tries to play the offside trap rather than go with Salah.
Instead of tracking him. Emerson gets caught out there for sure.
He tried to play the offside trap rather than tracking him, and he's got caught. He took a gamble, and it didn't pay off. He should have just went with him. If you're not sure, you always go with the man. Oh, 1-0 Liverpool.
Bentancur, lovely touch from Sonny and Bentancur. Sonny. There you go. Johnson, get out there, man.
I want to see a bit of urgency in possession now we've gone 1-0 down. I don't want to see this same shit side to side. Don't go within yourselves now. Keep playing, keep being brave.
Yeah, just don't let your heads drop, please, lads. Just keep fighting. We have been okay. Like, we haven't been that poor.
Been all right.
We've been all right. Yes, it's another, just goal conceded so easily, but don't let the
difference is the quality in the forward areas. You look at Liverpool and the chances, the minimal, we've had more possession, but they've created a lot more chances. The quality is completely different to ours. We've had a lot of possession, but we haven't really, where's that cross going to? There's no one even in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? First of all, the player needs to be looking up and realising that, but second of all, where the fuck is Sonny? You know, it's just our forward line is just so far off, and that's been the difference right now. Liverpool have created chances with their possession, we haven't, and the one we did have, it's just nowhere near a player that can get on the end of it. Oh, come on, Tottenham, please. Gakpo.
We still need to score goals at the end of the day, and we haven't shown
Yeah.
that we can do that. So we just need to still have our attack, I think, keep their confidence here, because we have opened them up, Liverpool.
But like, this was so frustrating. Romero's done his job. Van de Venden's done his job defensively, stopping two more or less goals. You're looking for the forward line or the midfield to come to the party, and now we're seeing passes that they don't even know where they're passing it to.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Well done, Basuma.
you're not even allowed to challenge in this game. Referee's just not allowing it. Diaz is rolling around like he's been assassinated. Come on, Spurs.
Some people are saying Vicario probably could have had a stronger reaction to the header. It's hard when it's like point blank right in front of you.
Yeah, it's point blank. That's the thing.
You're kind of already backing up.
And you're already diving backwards when you're making them
Yeah.
saves as well. Let's not forget.
If
Look,
you could make a slight correction, maybe what he does is actually just goes really brave and actually just sort of rushes Salah, right? He goes for
Yeah.
the Onana, where maybe he does a bit of an Onana where he just punches Salah in the head while he does it, because that's what some keepers might go for. They'll go for that approach where they're actually just going to get in his way and sort of just be in front of him while he's headering it. He could have done that, but the fact that he decided to back up into his own goal, it's then very hard to expect a save, I think, from that. It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
No, it is. Look, for me, I like Emerson, but that goes on him. If you go back and look at the movement, he wasn't sure where he was, and he tried to play the offside trap, not being aware of what was behind him. And he guessed, and he took a gamble. What he should have done is, if you're not sure, you always go with the man. You always go with the runner. And he didn't do that. He took the wrong option there, and that goes on him. He lost Mo Salah. He wasn't aware he was drifting in behind him. When you're from that close out, like, yeah, look, maybe Vicario's frame, he could have been a bit stronger, but from that close out, I mean, it's near impossible.
Elliot in behind
Get
for
out,
Salah.
get out.
Yeah, it must have been out.
It's going to be a long afternoon, Jack.
I hope not, but just have to keep it close. Have to keep it within reaching distance.
Just stay in
and we
the
just
game
need
now
the
at this
attack,
point,
man.
you know?
We do.
Yeah.
As much as I agree, like, we are being exposed, pretty often in the defense. We are being exposed, but the attack still have to do their job. They have to try to get us back into it.
But we're being exposed somewhat defensively. But again, that goal came off an opportunity that we spurned up the other end. A real good opportunity. Here we go.
Diaz.
Well done, Vicario.
Vicario.
That goal they scored came off the back of us having a really good opportunity up the other end. And two of their other chances also came off Papa Massar getting the ball turned over and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, I just lost for words. Set piece, please defend this. Who's that down? Romero. Just watch Van Dijk. Everyone else is a distraction. Dealt with it, and it's gone out the far side for another corner. Romero wins that one.
It's an improvement to see someone actually win the header, but it's not a great clearance.
No. See if we can deal with it from this side. Who's that? Van Dijk. Why is Brennan Johnson on Van Dijk?
Why is Johnson on Van Dijk?
Oh my lord. What the fuck is going on back there?
Vic catches it. He's tried to transition quickly here. Kulu.
Right, come on, Kulu. You got to go now that they're all caught up.
Jesus, man.
We've just no skill about us up front.
Can't even pass the ball to each other. We're using our hands.
Wouldn't even be a good handball side. That's free.
Bentancur. I actually think Basuma and Bentancur have been all right.
Oh, look, we've been all right in general.
I think certain players have been okay. It's just, we are still being let down by others and individual poor quality. I'd say the wingers, once again, are pretty underwhelming. Like, Kulu's been underwhelming. Johnson's been really underwhelming. Sonny's actually been all right at striker so far.
He's been all right, to be fair.
Yeah, he's been better, much better than what he usually has been. And he's getting involved in the game, but he's also, like for Charleston in the last game, struggling for any real service from his wingers, from his partners in the attack.
Emerson needs to start getting a
and
grip
Emerson
of
has had a poor game.
well.
Emerson's had a poor game.
Well done, Basuma. Some bloody great
tackle.
challenge. He's had a good game.
Bentancur keeps it.
Well done.
Pedro into Basuma. It's just Basuma's been sharp on the turn. He hasn't been
He's been good.
He hasn't been too methodical. He hasn't been too methodical, taking too many touches or anything like that. Johnson.
Now Johnson runs at him. Well done.
Is that a foul? It looked like a foul.
No, he's won the ball.
Salah. Johnson.
That's ours. Well done. That's ours. Oh my God. It's a conspiracy. We're not getting anything. It's a conspiracy. We're not getting a thing. Like, he literally kicks it off him. Even Brandon Austin and Skipper laughing at how bad we are.
Basuma.
Well done.
Spurs again with decent amount of possession here.
Just not doing
getting outnumbered on shots, but we haven't been getting into the final third. We just, yet again, we struggle to actually get a real shot from it, even though we are in the right areas. We're in the right areas. We have space. We have chances to make something happen. It's just we really struggle with any quality.
Yeah, so bad. And I actually feel sorry for the midfielders and defenders to a degree because it just gets turned easy and comes back on them so quickly. I actually feel sorry for them. And that's a change for me over the last few years, by the way. But I feel sorry for them. Because it's almost like they also have to try and go and score goals as well. Romero's been at the centre of our best chances over the last few weeks. And that's purely out of desire by him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mo Salah. It's better from Emerson. At least he's sticking with him there and doesn't let him skin him. It's progress. Close him down now, Porro. Back to Robertson. Watch this little ball.
Into Gakpo.
Well done, Van de Ven. Good clearance.
I feel like Gakpo has been playing very well for them. I agree, user.
He's moving out onto that right, onto Liverpool's left-hand side, our right a lot, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the one who played that ball into behind Emerson's head.
It was a good ball as well.
Definitely.
That's better from Emerson, though. It's progress. He didn't let Mo Salah beat him that time. He forced him backwards. More of that.
All right, we're a little bunched up in midfield.
Got to take the little positives where we can at this point. Van de Ven. Let's get turned with all that space. A bit of intensity here.
See Emerson.
Slow again.
There you go. Into Basuma. Whoa! Oh! See ya.
Good ball.
Lovely from Basuma. Pedro trying to find Johnson in behind. Get on your horse, man. Run.
What ball? It's killing us. Like, Son's doing a good job dropping in to try and link up. But what we don't have is any threat in behind. If Son drops, Johnson has to move in from the wing and make that run in behind the back line.
Someone's got to stretch the back line and actually make some run in behind the defense.
Well, has to try and do the same.
Basuma, great turn again.
Like, if Son's dropping, someone has to stretch them the other way.
Liverpool go long.
Over the top.
Ball over the top to Gakpo. Romero doesn't read it very well. Lets it bounce.
Good defending, forcing him back there. Come on, Kulu. A bit of intensity, for fuck's sake, man. He's just allowed that pass. There's no intensity on the close down here.
Trent.
Well done.
Emerson. To Johnson. Pora.
Suma's being doubled
Sarr.
up on now.
Emerson gives it away.
Emerson's being doubled up on now on that side. They're going to have to get him some help. It's fucking impossible when you've Salah coming inside and Trent going outside. You don't know where to stick or stay. Liverpool rotating across the back line. Van Dijk.
Out wide.
Clever switch of play out wide to Trent.
Down the line to Salah. Oh, Luis Diaz with a run across.
Johnson's going to have to start coming back and helping.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We need Sarr and Johnson to help out Emerson more.
Because anytime Trent gets the ball, Emerson has to go out, and then it's leaving Mo Salah to run in behind him and pulling Van de Ven out. Johnson has to start coming back and matching them runs of Trent. He has to.
Emerson did really poor, I think, on the goal that we conceded.
Yeah,
but I do feel for him, actually, because he has to deal with either Trent or Salah. He has to make a choice every time, and that's not easy because they're the two most dangerous players for Liverpool, Salah and Trent, and they're both doubling up on his side, and he's having to make a choice. So someone needs to help him out.
Either Bentancur has to go out there, or Sarr, whoever's playing in that role, or else Johnson has to come back. One of the two have to go out and help him.
Oh, that was dangerous. It's just these balls over the back post, down the flank are really hurting us. These switch of plays over our heads. We're just way too congested, way too tight.
It's another ball in. It's another ball in behind over the top.
It's that sort of pass. It's like they're able to get it every time. I don't think we should be as tight. I get it. We're trying to catch them offside, but when they're not offside, it's deadly, those balls.
See, all they're doing is, though, they're leaving the winger standing there, making him look like he's offside, and then someone else comes in behind. Look at that. Who's that standing over on the right-hand side? That's there every time if the other player's offside, You just have to start picking them up more. Well done, Basuma.
Into Bentancur.
Right, let's go, Bentancur. Johnson, when you get on the afterburners, why does everything have to...
Into Basuma. Romero.
Oh, Lord.
Trying to fire it into Sarr, I believe, but...
I want to see Johnson and Kulusevski switch wings.
Yeah.
I want to see Kulu go on his left, Johnson go on his right.
I'd like to see one of them probably...
At least one of them do something. Both of them are MIA.
They're both as bad as each other right now.
And they're not even going back defensively to help either, so you're not even getting anything from them.
What they're both so guilty of is just not taking advantage of any of the space that they're giving and any of the opportunities that they have with possession. It's just backwards from them, or just they're giving it away.
Like every time the midfielder gives them the ball, they slow it down, come back inside, and the midfielders are gone on beyond. It's impossible. Like, ideally, they give them the ball. They want to run at their fullback, and then you also have the option of the runner in the midfield.
Midfielders are doing all the hard work.
Be more direct.
Midfielders are doing all the hard work. They're having to break the press. They're having to...
Midfield's actually done well today.
They're having to break the press. They're having to make the difficult runs.
Oh, come on, Kulu. Be stronger than that. Look at his size here.
Someone get there. Well done, Basuma.
Well done, Basuma. Midfield three has actually worked well today.
I really can't fault Basuma that much in this game. Like, again, yes, you could make little criticisms here and there with him and Bentancur, but they've actually been probably two of our best players.
I think him, Bentancur, and Sarr have done fine in that midfield, actually, to be honest. I think they've done well. They've battled well and they've done well in possession. But again,
Bentancur, get there, son.
It's asking an awful lot of them. That's shocking. It's another ball in. Romero, you got to deal with that. Well done. That's composure. Come on, Spurs. We just need one attack. Which one of you in the chat is guilty of doing something evil in your past life that we can't score? Romero.
Gives it away. No, this
We're
is
in trouble here.
dangerous. Van de Ven,
that's going to be given. Oh, no, he's not giving it. He's waved it on.
Maybe
Thank God. Let's go now.
Sonny,
we've got 3-on-2. Play Sonny Johnson.
It's a good ball. Cesar.
You got Sarah and
Cesar.
Kulu. You got Sarah and Kulu. Cut inside.
Make a
the
decision,
option's gone.
Sonny. Make a decision. This is why we get things so wrong. Poro.
Yeah.
Oh my lord!
And-
How?
oh
See,
my
how are we not getting a shot on goal there? See, these are the situations. How are we not even getting a shot on goal in these situations?
And we're going to get this turned on us now. Here
Oh,
we
it
are.
is. Yep,
Liverpool
it
are
is.
in.
Well done, Emerson. Well done, Emerson.
Well done, Emerson. I mean, that's just shocking. You're right, Jack. How we're not getting a shot on goal there is shocking. And then look how quickly it's turned back on us. And everyone's caught up the field because we're so indecisive going forward. It's absolutely shocking. That forward line needs to be fucking shook. Sonny is guilty as much as Johnson and Kulu. I'm sorry. Like, he's had two options there. One to Kulu, one to Papa Matsar. And he tries to be selfish and cuts in and takes the shot. And they all bunch up and crowd him out. Can't even do that. We can do it up to the final third. As soon as we get there, everyone shits to bed. Like, look at this. We can all do it around the box.
Wow, well done by Kulu. Basuma, great pass. And
right, let's go again. Now we've got them. It's three. It's
okay,
4
Johnson
on 3.
now.
It's 4 on 3 now. Surely.
Oh, it's just
oh
Reds,
my
man.
holy
I'm done.
shit! Please.
I'm actually done.
Holy fucking Christ! It's a 4 on 3.
It's not even
to
a great
Tottenham.
defender. I'm sorry, it's Trent as well.
Jack,
He's not
it's
even
4
a great
on
defender.
3.
He's not even a great
It's 4
defender,
on
Trent.
3.
Brennan Johnson
You
really
can't even
is.
fashion a shot with a 4 on 3 scenario. What hope have we got for
His
the rest
quality
of this game?
is just so inconsistent, Brennan Johnson. It's just he's so inconsistent.
It's embarrassing.
He is useless, Johnson.
4 on 3 situation.
Kulu, I mean, Kulu had a nice bit of play there as well, but like I said, they're as useless as each other right now, both going forward. We have no threat up front, and we're finding ourselves with great chances to make, not saying score, just at least get a shot on goal, challenge the defense or something. We can't do it. The midfield can only do so much. They're providing good opportunities for these guys. It's really pathetic. We can't do anything with it. Emerson wins it back.
Well done.
Someone
help him now.
Someone. Not on the same wavelength as Johnson.
Oh, Gakpo.
God, Kulu
Callister
is just
back
getting
to Gakpo.
split with that pass every time.
Gakpo looking. Goes to Endo. Endo moves it on to Trent.
Back
Mo Salah with
post.
the cross. Well done, Romero.
Oh, no.
Robertson's
It's
free to hit it.
dangerous.
Romero with the block again. Emerson, can he mop it up? Gets rid of it. Come on, Tottenham. It's sad because we're actually showing a bit of fight on that. It's just going forward. It's just so disgusting. It's killing us. Oh, don't tell me they're looking at that. Please don't tell
He
me
hits it
they're
with his
looking at
head.
that. Okay, thank God. Van Dijk. Endo.
Martin Knightsbridge saying, blame me, Dave. I've done plenty wrong.
No doubt about that, Martin. That's the sad thing.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Ball
no.
behind Martin.
Oh, it's great defending again by Romero and Papa Matsar. It's unorthodox, but we'll take it. Great defending. I just wish we could score up the other end and alleviate a bit of pressure, or at least keep possession up the other end. Oh, it's another shot. Vicario saves it. A shot from Gakpo from distance. Still in the game, though. Let's take positives here. Just hopefully one of the 4 players can wake up a little, or one of the Liverpool players can shit the bed. Romero. Cross to Van de Ven.
Can we shithouse a 1-1 here at halftime?
I'd love it. Well, I wouldn't argue it's shithouse. I think we deserve it. If we could
we're
just
just so
fashion one
shit.
chance.
We're just so shit up front, though. It would kind of feel like shithousing. It's like watching it's like watching toddlers up front.
True.
It's like watching an under sixes trying to beat some of these defenders. It's really quite sad.
Even the back line don't want to give it up front now
Because
because
that's
they know
where
it's going to come
it's
straight
so
back.
it's so head scratching because you're just really like watching Basuma and Bentancur, and they're like breaking the press. They're like breaking the midfield of Liverpool's, and then it's just dead once it gets to any of the
Yeah,
wingers. Once it gets to Johnson or Kulu, the attack just dies every time.
yeah. Romero.
But also
Van de Ven.
Liverpool have had plenty of chances of hurting us on the counter.
Johnson with space here. Runs at his man. Oh, Lord. Holy, please. He's giving it. Oh, my God. I mean, he's so indecisive. I need a second. I need to go and pray to Jesus. Every time he touches the ball, it's wrong. Every single fucking time. Stephen Wilson saying take off the front three, please. I mean, that's my thoughts at this moment in time. It's absolutely shocking. Ray Hill says we've got 2 brainless wingers in the team. Tyler says, what are we doing in training? Mark Cook, no vision up
well
front.
done,
Jack
Poro. See somebody. See Sar. See Sonny. Sonny, can you get a shot?
Penalty. No.
Oh, Romero, bad giveaway. Well done, Romero. But see now it's down Royale's side. Royale got to look behind you as well.
Doubling up on him again. Thank God Elliot doesn't go that way.
Oh, no, he slides it across. Well done, Emerson.
Well done, Emerson. Oh, Lord, one of you get rid of it. Kulu. Again, still can't pick out 2 passes in the opposition third. Remember Darren Bent's beach ball goal? We're going to need some slice of luck like that or something to break this duct. Oh, no. Well done, Romero, again. He's been fucking outstanding.
Outside the box. Trent. Back post now. Oh, my Lord. It's a shooting clinic. It's a shooting clinic.
Queuing up. And it's almost more of a piss take when we can't even get a shot off on goal and they're just queuing up.
It really is a piss take. Like, yeah, exactly.
It's outstanding by Romero again. I tell you what, it'd be 4 or 5-0 if it wasn't for him. And I have to say, actually, Emerson's done all right since he's already let Mo Salah in for the goal. Since then, he's actually done fairly well. Damage is already done, I suppose. Porro. Good header into Bentancur.
You're never going to get there, but well done.
Kulu. Drive, and drive. There's no point in going backwards. Well done. That's more like it. Use your frame. That's it, kid.
Oh, it's a shit pass.
Fucking pass. Oh, my Lord Jesus Christ. Why?
Him and Johnson, man. It's just so dead from both of them.
It's just useless.
Get there, Johnson. Oh, my Lord.
Look, he's not even making an effort to sprint back after him. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's
I question how fast he really is as well. Sometimes I question how fast he is.
That's pathetic. He's jogging back there and he leaves a tiny little foot and he doesn't even want to go and make the challenge. He could not give 2 shits out there. Take him fucking off.
Well done, Romero.
I can't believe what I've just witnessed. There was actually a highlight clip of Ndombele doing that against Burnley. Anyone remember a clip similar like that? And we're just going to give Johnson a free pass? I don't think so.
Sort of like watching Rashford.
It was the exact clip of Ndombele doing that under Jose Mourinho against Burnley. And people went ballistic about it.
Oh, no. Romero gives it away.
He's been so good as well. He blocks it, though.
Back post.
Oh, here they are. They're queuing up now. It's 2-0.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh,
is that a save?
Thinking, no, it's just gone over.
They need to put Richie out on the left or put Sonny out on the left. Richie needs to come in for Johnson. I mean, Kulu, I don't think really deserves to be on either.
No, he's useless. He can come off too. But Johnson, just because he didn't even track back there, he's just no interest.
They're both as useless as each other this game, so one of them has to come off, and then we need to get Richie in.
Bar the first 15 minutes, I'd argue Son's been crap as well, but he's your best player and he's your main source of goals. You can't take him off.
I think Sonny's actually, he's been better with his hold-up play. His hold-up play's been much better than it has in other games. But once again, Dave, I question his confidence in front of goal.
Yeah.
Because when he has been in front of goal, right, he's taking too long, not shooting maybe when he could.
Problem we've got when Son drops deep, though, is all the wingers are just hugging the touchline. I want one of them to come in from the outside and make an option in behind. And if anything, even if the ball doesn't come, you're dragging that defence backwards, which frees more space up for Sonny to get turned. You know, there's just, everyone's just...
Yeah.
Hands. Sonny, well done there. Oh, it's giving
Sar's got to read that.
Oh, it's so annoying. Steve Fraser says, can't see Richie doing anything. Sorry, I mean, I can't. You could roll back out Glenn Hoddle and fucking Ozzy Ardiles and David Ginola. Even they wouldn't score in this team right now. Sar gets a yellow for that. Oh, my God. That's him not going to be able to tackle now for the rest of the game.
Oh, no. Giving it away. Oh, no. Elliott, shot on goal. Again. It's just a shooting clinic for this Liverpool team today. Down our right-hand side once again. Or, sorry, our left. Emerson's. Oh, it's a shot. No, it's across the 6. It's 2. It's got to be 2.
Again. No one following Robertson
up.
This
is pathetic. We're just getting absolutely rammed.
I mean, they just keep doubling up down Emerson's side, and I just want one more player to go over there and fucking try and help him. It's not fucking hard. Johnson was there and walked away from it and done absolutely nothing. What's wrong with him?
Getting absolutely rammed down that right side, and then it's just getting crossed across, and it's just getting whipped back across the penalty area every time. It's
Jesus!
It's just we're asking for trouble.
Can't string 2 passes up in the forward area, and we can't even defend anymore. I mean, look, Johnson is out there. Look where he goes without any intensity. Look where he goes. He's just left him completely. Look.
Romero and all of them have kept him on side as well. This is what hurting us because we're so bunched up and we're keeping the line so tight. This isn't good.
Oh, end the season. Please end the season. What was the point of even Villa dropping points today? I mean, it's just absolutely shocking. Holy shit.
We're getting run around the park right now.
I'm on borderline on it myself.
I'm getting run around.
I'm just so sick of it now at this point. It's just so boring and turgid. It's bollocks. And you know what? Earlier on in the season, you know, people were like, calm down, you know, we'll come out in the second half. Not even anyone can say that anymore. No one even says that anymore. Because we just don't. We lack so much fight and everything. I actually feel sorry for the midfield and the defence to a large degree today because they've actually done well enough. Ref, that's just assault by Diaz. It's just common assault.
Martin Knightsbridge from earlier was also saying won't get any decisions today. You can see it. Yeah, it's done. It's not helping us at all, Martin. It's been a problem this season, but today's just one of those where even if we had the ref on our side, I don't see it still going our way. Oh, Salah's in behind. And it's halftime.
Thank fuck for that. Thank God that embarrassment is over. That absolute embarrassment.
These are hard to do. Well, maybe this is a place to start, if any. Paul Markey sent in a super chat, Dave, right before halftime, saying Johnson is a total waste of $50 million. I said it when we signed him, and I'm right. Paul, you've been right about a couple of players in the past. With Johnson, I was very, very frustrated with him when he first started with us. I started to warm up to him a little bit because he was making those late impacts, was getting those winning goals for us. Tried to give him, kind of sort of that benefit of the doubt, really. It still kind of am, but he is just, I'm pissing me off, really. I'll just be frank. He just does. He just has so many good chances to make something happen with the space he's being given, with the touches that he has in good areas, and he just usually comes up with nothing. It's either ends out with sort of a goal kick, ends up with maybe a corner when it should have at least ended up with a shot on goal. Oftentimes just gives it away, doesn't know how to take on his man, really, really struggles with crossing, is probably one of the worst crossers we've seen as a winger in this Spurs side in some time now, because he just doesn't know who he's playing it to and he doesn't know who to hit. It's really, really painful, Dave. I mean, that's not the number one spot, I think, to start, but Paul Markey might as well just start us there. I mean,
No, look,
the wingers have been useless today. Johnson has been useless today, as has Kulusevski. So don't get it twisted, everybody. Kulusevski also useless. But to start with Johnson, I mean, the guy, so frustrating.
when it came to Johnson, we had to sign him because we needed to sign in the homegrown. So that reduces half the market. But we still have to be going after better homegrown players than that. It's absolutely embarrassing. You look at Brennan Johnson there, right? Even if things aren't going off for him forward, work hard defensively. He is trotting back doing absolute fuck all.
That's his other
and
problem.
he just looks completely disinterested. And it doesn't matter whether you play him off the left or the right, we keep getting the same things from him. If you're not playing well, at least bloody work hard, and he won't even give you that. For me, you may as well play with 10 men out there. Anytime the ball's gone out to him, there's no, he puts in, he's actually, I'll give him a bit of credit, he's actually found a couple of crosses today, which he didn't last week. But with the amount of times he gets the ball and the amount of times he just does F all with it, it's actually just brutally embarrassing. And it brings our attack down to a level I never, ever envisioned it being at when we had Son and Kane up front. I could never envision it would get this bad to this level, and it's absolutely disgusting. And he is a massive part of the reason why he keeps getting rolled out there and he keeps just going MIA. I said it before the game. He is not a big game player. He does not want to know in these games. He is absolutely frightened. And we can sit here and make all the excuses for him he wants. He's young, he's this, he's that. It's going to take time with him and stuff like that. Well, at Tottenham, time is of the bloody essence. And it's about time he had a reality check, a look in the mirror and changed his fucking mentality. Because the only reason you will keep seeing inconsistencies if he's got a shit mentality. And right now he does. Because if he didn't, you'd see him have a mentality like Anthony Gordon at Newcastle. And there's a reason why he's gone on to, you surpass a more of a level than Brennan Johnson. I actually think Brennan Johnson has more natural ability. But Gordon's mentality is a lot better. And for me, Brennan Johnson's a huge problem. But I'm not pinning all this forward line on him, by the way. I'm not scapegoating him. I'm touching on it because Paul Markey sent it in. And he's right. He's right on Brennan Johnson. But my God, what the fuck has happened to Kulusevski over the other side? He is absolutely shambolic. He's falling over the ball again. He's tracking back with no intensity to try and help out Porro. And anytime he does do something decent, and then he goes to pass it off, and he just gives away the ball again. Everything's over here, clunky shit, and then not only that, he gives away some amount of free kicks because he's so frustrated with what's going on as well. He could come off, and being brutally honest, I think Son could come off as well. He's been that MIA to a large degree. Let's not forget he had a good opportunity there. 2 balls to play, got selfish and completely nullified the attack, got turned on us, went back up the other end.
The attack is lifeless. The front three, they're just lifeless. Like all of them.
There's no movement in them.
No movement, no real quality, no conviction of any kind. Any sort of bit of, reliance on them to have a good touch or a good decision is out the door. They always take the wrong one, or they always let themselves down by a bad touch or a bad decision. It's just painful to watch, really, because when you see kind of most, when you watch most teams and you see a winger when they do get the ball in a good area with, a bit of pace and, some speed to run at their man, usually every, 4 or 5 times, you'll see a good chance be created. You'll see something happen from it. But every single time we seem to know what's going to come out. We just know it's going to end up with just being nothing, really. These forwards have just let every attack in the last 4 or 5 games, really, every attack has just gone to virtually nothing. We have to rely on pretty much Romero and Van de Ven and others to be the ones to score our goals for us as well, as also on top of, doing all the defending. but we're also just getting absolutely rammed down that right-hand side too, because Johnson just on it too. Not only is he not doing enough going forward, but he's not helping out Emerson whatsoever. Emerson, again, is having not a great game, in my opinion. You might think differently, but I don't think he's had that great of a game, really. And he's not being helped out, though, by the fact that the two most dangerous players for Liverpool, Salah and Trent, are both doubling up on his side. It's not easy. He has to make a choice. He has to make a decision. He's not being helped out by whichever midfielder and wingers on that side. It's just lifeless from the front three. And then also they're hurting us, I think, defensively, too, kind of the front three, or at least the wingers are, by not tracking back.
And do you know what's worse? Liverpool actually have their worst front three since Klopp has been there. And look up with ease they're carving us open. To your point, what we're expecting from Brennan Johnson and Kulusevski. Cody Gakpo, every time, nearly every time he's delivered something of quality. Mo Salah well over the other side, nearly every time he's delivered something of quality. As soon as it gets to our wingers, it just completely breaks down. But it's becoming more problem than one, because with how easy and how quickly it's getting turned down, because let's not forget, you can't even string two passes together in the final third right now. It just comes straight back on everybody else. And by that point, we've had to push the midfield up, we've pushed the back line up, then where they turn it over, it's one touch straight in behind, and it's just exposing us. That front line is becoming a huge problem in terms of the amount of goals we're conceding, but also the lack of goals that we're scoring. And it all depends on them, and they actually look like a front line that fucking knows that as well, but they're not doing anything to deal with it. So I want to see changes in that front line. When it comes to Emerson, he's completely at fault for the goal. The first goal, he doesn't know. He tries to play the offside trap without actually knowing where Mo Salah is.
Yeah.
Mo Salah is outside and continues going, and at that point, Emerson has to go with him, and he doesn't. He almost uses the offside trap as a get out of jail free, and he got caught. But to a large degree, everything else that's happened after then, I think he's done all right. He's made a couple of blocks, but he doesn't know whether to stick or twist. As soon as he moves out to Trent Alexander-Arnold to close down, Mo Salah's coming in behind him. The minute he moves to Mo Salah, Trent Alexander's going on the outside of him, and we need other people to get across there and help him out. And it's just not happening. Second goal is absolutely shambolic as well. But look, I actually feel sorry for the midfield, because I actually think that Postecoglou got the midfield right today. It's given us a bit of combativeness in there. We've done well on the ball in terms of developing it from the back line into the forward line. But I actually feel sorry for them, because it's actually turned into a box-to-box game for them, because they have to keep tracking back with such regularity to make up for the forward line losing that possession. And I actually feel bad for them. Romero and Van de Ven to a large degree. Van de Ven pulled off a massive clearance in front of Mo Salah earlier on in the game. Romero's pulled off I don't know how many blocks, but yet it just keeps coming. And law of averages, eventually it's going to go in the back of your net. I actually just feel sorry for the rest of the players behind that forward line, crying in that dressing room, and then that tears would turn to anger, and I'd start, calling people out.
I think that certain players as well, it feels like, are sort of torn on how much effort they're, willing to give, to track back as well and, run and fight for each other. Certain players, I think, are actually clearly playing for Ange, or at least playing well. Like, I don't think Basuma, again, everybody's playing really all that bad. I see him doing a lot of good things more than he is doing bad things. Same with Bentancur. Like, I think they've been okay in possession. They've been working hard. They're tracking back as well as leading the press, winning the ball back for us. They haven't really given it away too many times. And when Liverpool have pressed us high, I think Basuma and Bentancur, respectfully, have done well to try to break past the midfield. They're playing tight, one-touch passing with each other to break those lines and, create openings for us to transition on that back line of Liverpool's. And once it gets to the forwards, just nothing happens. We have to talk about this, though, too, Dave. Like, we are getting absolutely rammed defensively here on the transition and just on that back post. Like, I think Liverpool, it looks like, have had 14 shots to our one. I mean, it just shows how little our forwards can do with it, that we've only had one shot.
But what
still,
do you do at this point,
we've conceded 8 shots on target. And I think probably Vic, as well as, not Vic, Van de Ven and Romero, they probably have saved us from easily 2 other goals that, could have been conceded.
But what do you do? Because they have to get up and help the forward line because they're so shit. Mm-hmm. And the minute they do, the ball's getting turned and they have to sprint 80 yards backwards. This is what I say. I feel sorry for them, and I feel sorry for the backline because they're being so exposed because of it, because it's end-to-end game. The only other alternative you have is sitting two midfielders in there in front of your back four, but then all you're going to do there is invite pressure onto you. No one's hunting the ball out of possession in that forward line. It's very lackluster. So all you're doing then is effectively splitting your team up into one half that goes forward and the other half that sits back, and it's no good for anybody. It's no good for anybody. We're actually at a situation where it doesn't matter what you do. Look, Postecoglou could say, look, just damage limitation second half. No one's trying to leg, and they'll just sit back and they'll just, try and get out of there 4-5-0 down. I can already see what's coming. It's actually at the point right now, we just need the end of the season to come. It doesn't matter what Postecoglou does. It really doesn't. He made changes again today to the lineup, and it still hasn't worked out. So, I mean, when you're in that position, what do? You either sack him or you wait for the season to end and rotate the squad. And that's where we're at right now, and it's up to each and everyone out there to make their own decision on it.
Do you think certain players right now are not really running for Ange right now, or at least, they don't believe in Ange's tactics, hence why you see certain guys tracking back, jogging back, even Johnson, either he's being told explicitly not to track back, or he's making a conscious decision not to track back here. What do you make of that? Like, do you think certain players are giving it their all and others aren't?
Look, Johnson's not giving it his all. Kulusevski's not giving it his all there too, for sure. Look, I think Son's a good character, and I don't believe he'd turn on any manager, but I question how much does he want the season to end over the last few weeks in terms of his performance and how quickly his head drops. I'll be honest, I can't label it at Sarr, Basuma, Bentancur, because they are running their nuts off. They're fucking trying. Look, they're the players for me. I just think Postecoglou could do with taking them off at half time. But saying that, he could bring on Madison, he could bring on Lo Celso, but are they going to do any better? Are they going to run any harder? Are they going to create any more? Yeah. We're just at the point, look, just bring on Mikey Moore. At least give me some sort of try and let me see what the kid can do.
It looks like Ange is up against it, and with some of the players that are still playing for him, it looks like they're up against it because there's a split clearly with who actually believes in the tactics and who doesn't. Artist, Dropkick Your Teacher, saying Romero and Emerson were fighting walking off the field. Do you think it had to do with Emerson, with those balls over his head, behind his back, Dave? Romero's just getting frustrated with him. Do you think he should be getting tighter? What do you think Romero is probably frustrated with Emerson about?
No, I reckon it is completely to do with that, get a grip of more solid down that right-hand side. But I think Emerson's biting back and going, hang on here, Romero. It's Emerson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Harvey Elliott to a degree. I mean, I need more help off Johnson, and I do think I like the argument. It probably shows that they actually care about what's going on, but the blame needs to go in the right area for it to actually get sorted out for this second half. If you don't pinpoint it in the right area, it's not going to prove. You can bollock Emerson all you want, but if he's getting overloaded down that side, double, triple at times, he's just going to constantly be running around in circles chasing shadows. So it's not actually going to solve anything by having a pop at Emerson. Have a pop at Johnson and tell him to wake up, get out of his fucking sleeper bag and start doing something. At least if you're going to be shit going forward, get back and help out defensively.
I think Romero's getting tired of because he sees it, like he's noticed this, that every Liverpool attack is going down that right side with that clip ball over Emerson's head, or at least a ball down that right side, and then they really overload that side from there with, like you said, Elliott, Trent, Salah, etc. And it's just causing us so many problems. And Romero's clearly getting frustrated by it because he knows that's been the source of goals for this Liverpool team. And maybe he has that relationship with Emerson to tell him that. But I think it's also something Ange as well as the team have to look at halftime here, because it's very obvious that that was sort of the game plan of Liverpool, or at least once the game got going, that started to become their game plan of hitting it down that right side, because they've refused really to go down the left other than with Cody Gakpo and Robertson. They've caused us plenty of problems as well, don't get me wrong, but you can tell that they really are looking to try to hurt us on that left side, or Emerson's side, for sure. And something that I think they have to look at halftime there. Dropkick Your Teacher. Martin Knightsbridge saying Vic had to hold Cootie back from Emo after the goal. So that's what people are bringing up here, Dave. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of happy. I don't really have much problem with it. If Romero's upset, he's been playing exceptionally well the last few games. He's one of the only people that clearly still believes in Ange, or at least still cares about the shirt, and has at least had his wits about him. He's prevented plenty of goals going in. I don't really blame Romero for being upset.
No, neither do I. I mean, I like it actually. At least it shows, that he like, and there's a reason why Postecoglou singled him out, right? About his winning mentality and stuff, because it actually shows that he still cares, he still believes that we can go on and get something out of this game, and I expect nothing less from Romero, to be brutally honest. It actually shows he actually fucking cares. I'd rather that than what we seen last year. Everybody just walking around like this with their eye on this guy.
Yeah, it shows that he does care, and I think it's more examples of, I think, Romero's leadership mentality. At least that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And then also as well, a user saying, "Why are we upset?
Fair
Were we
point.
expecting anything different?" I mean, yes, I think we were well prepared for this type of result, but we also, it's not easy to just sit here and watch it. Like, you're still going to get frustrated. You're still going to be hurt by this kind of performance. I think a user, it's not easy to take. It's not easy to watch. Maybe if it gets much, much worse, we'll probably have to make that decision of whether we really do want to put ourselves through it anymore. But I mean, I don't think we've gone that ballistic, really, Dave and I, at halftime. I think we've actually probably been angrier in other games because we probably did kind of see this coming for the most part, a user. I think we've been, for the most part, we're upset, but I think we could
Look,
be more
again,
upset. I think we've been more upset in other games, really.
again, it's just a case of the hope that kills you. So,
Yeah.
Brighton, oh, here we go, 3-on-2. Surely we get a shot here. Oh,
Sonny,
my
my
fucking God,
wake
Sonny.
up.
Oh, my Lord. I do not believe
We
that.
can't get a
Oh,
shot on
my
goal. We just can't
holy
get a shot
God.
on goal. And here they are, Liverpool now. This is
Don't tell me.
we.
Don't tell me.
This
That's
is,
shocking.
it's so hard to understand here.
We've
We'll
a
be
three on
clean
two
through on
on the edge
goal.
of their box, and we still can't get a shot because Son's delaying it and just, I don't know.
Kulu, find Johnson. Oh, no pace.
It's a story of our season. This huffing and puffing, but not enough quality. I just can't believe we didn't turn that into a shot on goal. That's 3 occasions now. We've outnumbered Liverpool going forward in terms of their defensive numbers, and we haven't got a shot off goal. That's 3 this game. That should never happen. What's Van de Ven getting booked for? Oh, holy shit. Hey, user, I don't know why I get myself worked up. I try not to, and I hope for nothing. But at the end of the day, I suppose it's just the nature of being a Spurs fan, isn't it? You're just so passionate and you love the club so much and stuff. Even if you don't expect anything, you still find yourself getting let down when they don't perform and shit. Looks like Madison is getting ready. It looks like he's been told to warm up and get on.
Salah's in behind here again. So much space for him. Emerson, Trent,
Down that side again.
Bentancur trying to take a touch there.
Well
Unbelievable.
done. That's fucking superb play.
Unbelievable from him. Wow, Kulu, great pass.
Ball.
Bentancur,
No,
don't rush it,
Bentancur.
man. Oh, you've done all the hard work. Why do we do this to ourselves? Every time it gets
You
easier.
just got to find Son's feet and let him play Johnson on the
We
overlap.
do all the hard
That's all
part.
you got to do.
We do so well getting out from the back. We do so well breaking out from the pressure. And then the moment it gets up into the Liverpool half, we just, oh my
The moment
gosh.
you need composure, we've got zero composure. It's embarrassing.
But we have more
As much
composure in front of
composure
our
as
own
me
goal.
around a banquet, Jack. It's disgusting.
We have more composure in front of our own goal than we do in front of the opposition's.
Yeah.
This whole season. It's been so shocking.
I have more control around an all-you-can-eat buffet, and I fucking love food. It's embarrassing.
It's so hard to watch that. Because you do
It's
all the
painful,
hard part.
actually.
I find it harder to build out from the back like that. Once you get into the final third, that's when it should start to get easier.
It's just painful. You're
Kulu
right,
and
though. It's when
Pedro.
it should be easier. We're just so slow to everything. He's had time to run past the ball, get turned, and come back and get it again.
Oh, over the top again. Emerson, man. Oh, my Lord.
How long does he think he
He's
has on
just,
the fucking
he's
ball?
lost.
He's done the right
Emerson's
thing.
lost.
No,
Oh, it's
3
3.
Fuck you,
It's 3.
Emerson. He's done the hard part. He's done the hard part defending it, and then he just thinks he's got all fucking day on the ball. Why? Why does this club do this every single year? Why? It's such childish mistakes. It's babyish, it's amateurish, and it fucking hurts. Oh my God. Oh. Why does he think he's better than what he is? Why does he think he's Ronaldinho on the ball? He's more like fucking Ronald. Come on. He's more like Ronald McDonald. Look at him. He's done all the hard work and he's just so blasé there. Oh my God.
He needs to be
The
hauled
weakness
off,
and the
Emma.
loserish of it actually just makes me wince and hurt.
He needs to be hauled off, Emma.
Take him off too now at this point. He's had his opportunity. I'm sorry, you just can't do that in big games. You just can't think you have that much time. There's no urgency there whatsoever. And Romero's just looking. Romero's going to kill him after the game. Romero just looked at him straight away after that. He's going to kill him. He thinks he's Ronaldinho on the ball and he's fucking Ronald McDonald. It's embarrassing. And I wouldn't mind. We had a great opportunity just after halftime to try and go and pull this back by one. And then we did. Oh. Jack, if this gets to 4, we're ending this. I can't do this today.
I'm going to go
sorry.
to the restroom, Dave, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Put it on your camera.
Turning it off, everybody. I'm not doing another one of these. No, I'm not doing it. Van de Ven. No option, so he's to go back to Vicario. Good ball out by Vicario, and it's just dispossessed again. Holy shit. It's like watching 11 clowns. Someone whip out the fucking circus music to this, please. It's weak, it's feeble, it's loser. The mentality just stinks. Here we go. Liverpool rolling up again. Emerson gets the block on Mo Salah. Trying to find the bottom corner. It's gone out for a Liverpool goal kick. Oh, and we get about 10 replays, of course. Look at Liverpool fans having the time of their life. They haven't had anything to sing about in weeks. This is embarrassing. Harvey Elliott on the corner. Swings it in. It's an in-swinger. It's cleared by Romero. And by Romero again. Is anyone else going to challenge? Kulusevski, weak. Liverpool pick it up again. Just to roll straight back at us. Now Johnson wants to run around like a blue-ass fly. I mean, it's 3-0 down. It's a bit late, don't you think, Brennan? Idiot. Basuma. Emerson. Bentancur. Oh my God, they're all run offside. Can we play one of them? Oh my God,
Lord.
that's the one we play. Oh, I actually can't. We've got 4 runners. He waits till they all get offside,
So
and then he
horrible.
plays it to a Liverpool player.
We're so horrible.
It's just a team that voids so much confidence. Just end it. So more composure around the back line and on the edge of our own box than we do up front. We're actually better at keeping possession there.
Did Romero do something? I'm seeing praise for him.
Yeah, he made 2. He won a header from the corner, and get this, went and won his own header again while everyone else is standing there.
Pedro, Sonny, or Johnson. What a save.
That's a good save, to be fair.
It is a good save. If he hits that any further, though, to his right, he kind of hits it straight at him.
Why do we have to wait for 53 minutes for this, though?
Why?
It's there all game.
Well,
it's a great ball.
We can't put
in
a
header,
decent
to be
cross.
Fair. He actually does well.
Pedro Porro is the only guy who could put in a good cross. Johnson again. God, his touch, it's so far in front of him.
Another weekend ruined by Tottenham Hotspur. I think that's weekend 26 of this year.
Pedro Porro. It's going long. Switch of play to Sonny.
Out to Sonny. Looks like Johnson's gone through the middle and Sonny's gone out to the left.
Bentancur. Megs Elliott. Well done. Into Sonny. Sonny skips past both. Well done by Sonny.
Oh, good challenge. What a fucking tackle by the young lad, Consa.
Poor
it's better
Sonny.
from Sonny, though. That's more like it. A bit of intent again.
Hey, I mean,
not sure why we have to wait till we're 3-0 down and 55 minutes in the game to see it, but thank you for eventually doing it.
It's more than what Johnson did on the left almost all game. It's also the angle that even Sonny takes there is much better than what Johnson does. Johnson is just so scared sometimes even to cut inside, it feels like that.
Yeah.
Basuma. Play him, man. Now we're just passing it amongst ourselves. Basuma, you're going to get picked. Sar.
Oh, my lord. Oh, my
Yep, and not getting a foul either.
I think I'd benefit more from a nap right now. This is embarrassing.
Oh, my lord. What's going on there? Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Good recovery. Oh, he's giving it. I don't believe
What? A yellow?
He's pulling the yellow cards out like they're fucking candy.
What's he really done there?
Correct me if I'm wrong. There's no different what he done there to what happened on Kulu when he gave the corner in the first half.
What's he really done there, though, Emerson? I'm very confused by that one.
The fact that we've gone with Johnson up front through the middle, Richarlison must have done something really bad to piss Ange off.
Yeah, but Ange just making enemies for himself at this stage, though, because, you know, he's...
No, I get it. I just don't understand why we're playing Brendan Johnson. Here we go.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. But Richarlison's the second biggest contributor, you know, this season. And
he's coming on now. Him and Madison, it looks like.
Yeah.
So it's just temporary. Get him warmed up for the substitution.
Let's bring it on Skip, though, as well.
Skip thrives in times like these. He looks great in times like these because no one else tries a leg.
Martin Knightsbridge saying, come out here and Dave and join the players on the beach.
Honestly, I may as well. You may as well get, you know, I want some sort of juice cocktail with umbrellas in it and everything else. I may as well go whole hog and fucking enjoy that at least. Get some sort of reprieve, my man. This is embarrassing. I can't even look at my phone after this game. I'm turning it off. I'm actually just not looking at it.
Yeah,
I'm sick of it.
Martin, have you noticed maybe any flights scheduled by some of the players? You know, have you seen any of their, you know, wives or children, you know, maybe around the pool or...
If there's any flights tonight, I might be at Martin's door tomorrow morning if this gets any worse.
Might be seeing the players there at the beach with them. Absolutely, Martin. Oh, my fucking Lord. What a goal as well. What a goal.
Holy shit, that's embarrassing. What a
strike. I don't know, Dave. This is.
It's a great strike, but we're just so far standing off him. I mean, he skips a challenge. Who pulled out of the challenge on him in the first place there on the edge of the box? It's a great goal, don't get me wrong. But he's just skipped by somebody there.
We are atrocious. I'm done. It's not good. This is really not good for Ange. This is not good for any of these players. This is complete capitulation. This is capitulation. This is players all giving up, all playing as individuals. This is probably now getting worse than Chelsea. Much, much worse. It's just a better team. It's actually a similar performance even maybe to the Chelsea one, just better players that we're coming up against.
Emerson fails to deal with the initial ball.
What
Just
a goal.
skips by Bentancur there, and then it's a great strike.
What a goal.
He just skips by Bentancur. Basumas just doesn't even have no intensity to get out there and block that either. He's just jogging alongside of him.
Yeah, no, they're all absent. They're all just lifeless now. The players, they just don't. They couldn't care anymore.
Didn't care. Oh.
4-0, 60 minutes in. Madison, Richarlison skip on. Royale off. Skip maybe to play left back, I guess. Richie in behind.
Looks like it.
What can he do here? He's done well. Toporo can't play the pass, though. Madison turns the wrong way, takes too many dribbles.
Play it, you greedy fucker.
Why has he not played any of them there? Richarlison does so well instantly, just couldn't play the pass. It's just still continues to be the case with these forwards, man. The moment that they do the right thing, then they can't even play the final ball or the final pass or the final finish. He had Porro clean through there. Well done by Richie, but then couldn't play the pass. And then Madison there, he has two guys wide open, ready to receive it, ready to shoot. He can't play either of them. As much as Ange is getting absolutely exposed here, I mean, these players are just getting... These players are just really just individually. Madison gets a free kick.
This one will end up back down in London.
Porro to Johnson. Plays Sarr. Matters. Left-footed. Very tame effort. Basuma. Well done. Don't you dare, ref.
No.
Oh, my lord, ref. Oh, my lord.
Please, referee, please. Oh, we're already being humiliated enough without you compounding to it. We just don't need you to hammer home on it, too. It's just so bad.
It's gone how to play there. Definitely has.
Lino's on a tea break, Jack.
Yeah, Lino doesn't give a shit. Neither's the referee, though. That was a shocking foul to give.
Well, they were always going to give Liverpool everything because the scrutiny they'd be under today if they didn't after what happened in the last game. Who they rolling out? Gomez. Who's the son? Is that Betic?
Yeah.
Tiny player, him.
Can't go wrong with a Serbian-Spanish mixture for a footballer.
It's a good combination, that. Oh, fucking hell. Well, look, hopefully the under-21s provide me with a bit of joy tomorrow if anyone wants to tune in for that watch-along. They actually have something on the line to play for. Big game against Aston Villa midday tomorrow if people want to join me for that. Because this is absolute turgid. It's like eating a shit sandwich.
K32 saying Spurs are so bad right now, I'd be surprised if even the bus driver didn't get lost on the way home.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Look, I don't even know what to say. I've given up commentating on the game and everything. It's disgraceful.
Skip.
Why is every pass under hit?
Sonny, play Richie. Well done, Rich. Well done, Rich.
Good ball.
Oh,
God,
my
Sonny.
Lord. Sonny. Madison, good turn. It is just, we are blue ball FC, this front three, man.
Yeah.
They just suck. Like
even
Richie.
There, good play. Go to get the shot off. It's underneath Son's foot. We just can't get the roll of a ball at all going forward.
Our front three is just absolutely awful.
Oh, I can't believe we still have another 25 minutes of this bollocks to go through. This could end up 6-0 like Newcastle last year.
It easily would be, I think, if it wasn't for some saves already from Romero and others.
Yeah.
Probably will be 6-0 still. There's still plenty of time. Still getting chances to score, though, and we just can't.
Oh, my God.
That's the saddest thing, is that we probably still have had, what, a couple clear-cut, sort of openings, and we can't even get a shot on goal from them.
It's just so stale. It's boring. It's actually boring. It's gone to the point where it's just boring. I'm actually bored watching Tottenham.
Richie's offside.
He's way off. Still can't score anyway. Oh my Lord. Still can't score. And we're a mile offside.
This is really sad. This is really sad. This is really sad.
Dan Coy says, I'm happy my local team won the playoff final. Come on, you Harris Army.
Oh. Say that again, Dave.
Congratulations, lad.
I think you cut out.
Oh, sorry, Dan.
Oh. I think you're cutting out.
Congratulations, my man. His local team.
Here, I think I'll say it instead, Dan.
Second.
Congratulations to you, Dan, my man. Listen, I think it's good to have some solace taken from this weekend, whether it can be, I don't know, maybe a bet comes through your way, or, nice little dinner with the missus, nice walk, maybe some nice weather, good beer, nice meal or something like that. You got to find something this weekend to take your mind off of things and just make the weekend at least somewhat worth it and somewhat better, because Spurs have been on a path of ruining weekends, man. They are on a path of ruining them. Spurs, another great chance here. Sonny in behind. Oh my God, dude. These guys, this front three is so done. They've lost all confidence, this front three. They've lost all confidence. They can't do anything anymore.
Any better?
It can be, yeah. It's just at any time you moment, you tried to start speaking and just sort of cut out. But I think it's better. I think you're back.
Oh. Let's see if we can at least get this free kick on target, eh? I mean, it's bad that we're even just paying for a shot on goal. Just a shot on target is all we're asking for at this point. Madison looks like he's about to cry. Keep it in, Sonny. Sarr. Oh, Lord. Corner kick to Tottenham. No? It's that goal kick. Don't tell me that's gone out for a goal kick. Has he managed to hit that off his boot and make it go behind him? Oh, my Lord.
Let's pretend we scored a goal.
I swear half of that forward line must be wearing Dyer's boots.
Oh, he's just protecting these Liverpool players as well, though. On these so many times, Basuma, I swear, has won the ball back so cleanly, and he's just every
Yeah.
time blowing it up as a foul.
Liverpool just knocking it about, embarrassing us even further. They've stopped attacking us. They actually feel sorry for us. They've stopped attacking us. Alisson switches it out. Tottenham throw in. Ollie Skip looking for runners. No one showing for the ball. Anyone want it today? Today! Oh my God. Oh, holy fucking Christ. I need to go and light a candle for Tottenham.
Sonny in
Sonny
behind.
in behind here.
Well done, Sonny. Across the 6 to no one. It's just we know the outcome every time. It just feels like it's dumb.
I don't even get excited when the ball goes forward anymore, Jack. I don't even get excited anymore.
It's just they're gonna mess it up.
You just know what's coming.
Harvey Elliott cutting inside.
Don't
He's
let
going
him
for another
smash him anymore.
worldie. He's gonna go for another one.
Oh my Lord. And we let him as well.
Yeah, and we even let him. It was easy to read. We could tell 5 touches before he did it, where he was gonna go, what he was gonna do, what he wanted to do. He still did it.
This is just getting as bad as it was under Antonio Conte.
This is at a stage, though, where with Ange, you still live and die by results. You really can't. I mean, it's hard. It's really hard. You can't lose 4-0, 3-0, 2-0, 4-0.
No, I get it. I get it.
What's really sad is probably the North London Derby might have been our best of the performances when you look at it. Because the North London Derby was actually just us.
At least there was a bit of fight.
And also, I just say still, like, despite Arsenal scoring 3, 2 of them, we just handed them, right? Whereas Liverpool, like, they could have easily scored, like, 7 goals in this match.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
Here we go, Richie! 1-0. That's onside as well. Or 4-1, sorry. Back in it. Back in it. Come on! Fuck's sake. So actually, great ball by Basuma, I think that is. Splits the centre back and the full back with a pass between them. Onto the onrushing Kulu. Ooh, Richarlison.
To stay behind the ball. Does he stay behind the ball? I think he does. It's a good finish.
It's actually a good ball by Brennan Johnson, actually. Fair play to him.
Well, he's got to play that. If he can't play that one, he's got to be pulled off.
The ball went forward in a forward motion there, so happy days he's on. 4-1. We fucking finally scored.
Richie scored. Good to see him back on the score sheet.
We finally scored a goal. We finally scored a goal. We're fucking mighty. Sonny. Oh, this is more like it. That's more like it.
And then
Too
got
much.
Selfish. And then he got selfish.
Yeah, too selfish.
Adrian Chu saying, I don't recall us leaking that many goals at our worst.
Oh.
Yeah.
Basuma's just not allowed to make a challenge.
Well, Adrian, this is where I understand Ange wants to stay by his style of play, right? I get it. But that's where he is starting to then take beatings more than maybe other styles of play would, where I think under Antonio Conte, we were just so dreadful as well. Like, just couldn't even get in the opposition half, couldn't really create much of anything. It was also pretty terrible as well. But I think when you play slightly more defensive, when you're playing just as bad, maybe it might not look as bad because you're not just conceding shots left and right and it's becoming a shooting clinic, type of game. You could kind of, hunker in a little bit, take on some of the pressure, and you're still not going to win. There's still no chance of you playing well, but maybe it doesn't look as bad because you're playing slightly more defensively. Yeah. But since Ange has such a attack-minded approach, it just leads to it being such an end-to-end game, and the chances just keep getting created. And also Liverpool, right? They haven't had, a great end to the season. So when they start scoring 2s and 3s, they're not going to stop. They're actually going to want to score more and more and more because, they want to end the season on a high note. They're hungry for goals. They want to, improve their own records, their own stats. And that's where I feel like it makes Ange's results look even worse, if you get what I'm trying to say, Adrian and Dave, if you know what I mean. By you playing such an attacking approach, you might have actually not played as bad as the scoreline looked, but because you are conceding so many attacks on your goal, it's just going to end up looking worse than maybe it actually was under a Conte or under a Jose, where we probably played just as bad, if not worse, than this. But because it was slightly more defensive, maybe instead of it being 4-0 at halftime, it's 2-0 at halftime, and it's that sort of thing.
But look,
it's not any better. I don't think it's really that much better, but it's just on paper it looks worse. It does.
What I will say is, look, we could sack Ange today. You could bring in a defensive sort of minded manager tomorrow. Still ain't going to solve the problem of us scoring goals.
Yeah.
We're still going to concede goals because the amount of times we're under pressure, the amount of time the ball keeps coming back.
Exactly.
It's actually not even going to make a difference. So we're just at the point where, regardless of the manager, we just got to stick by one project and let him build a squad in his image going forward. It just has to be done because, like I said, you can bring in Sean Dyche tomorrow. If you think the same problems ain't still going to be there, they are.
No, the front three, that's a huge issue, right? Is that Ange, while being a very, attack-minded manager and, not as defense-focused, the attack, cannot complain about the chances and the opportunities that they get every single game to make something happen, to create goals, to create chances. The attack, it's not going to get it's not going to get better for them, under a different manager. For the defense, it will. The defense might get more protection, might have, more of a structure to it. But the attack, these guys get so many chances to create goals, to score goals, and they just can't do it at all.
Yeah.
So that's a concern.
Skip.
Really good chance. Can you get it to Richie again?
Richie.
Sonny! It's
4-2.
Chance.
If we can get a quick third before 80 minutes, I'm back involved in the game. Richie, 1 goal, 1 assist since coming off the bench.
Richie's easily been the best of the forwards this season. I think that's also shown to be the case now when you really look at it. Of the season,
it's 11 goals, 4 assists for the season now.
Richarlison, I think I'm just looking to say controversial
He's on as well.
He's got to be on. I hope he is.
Good layoff as well. He could have easily got selfish there, fairness to him.
Good finish from Sonny. Good hold-up play once again from Rich. Good finish. Two great finishes. One from Richie, one from Sonny.
It's a goal for Son off the left-hand side. No, don't tell me. He's way on. Come on, VAR. They're just trying to stall our momentum of getting a quick third. That's all this is.
You can tell by the lines of the pitch. He's well on.
He's
they're going to draw a red line from that. They're going to draw a red line from that.
They can't. The blue line doesn't even touch Richarlison's foot, for fuck's sake. They're just trying to kill our momentum from going and getting a quick third. That's all it is.
They're looking to draw a red line from it. That's hilarious.
The blue line doesn't even touch Richarlison's feet. They can't draw a red line the opposite. How long does it want? Fucking hell. Come on. Stalling my momentum here.
Spurs 4-2, making it interesting at least, Dave.
Well, look, at least we're salvaging some sort of fucking something, you know.
At least we could be entertained at the end.
Do you know what? At least we've scored a goal. Thank God for that, Jack.
Yeah.
Not 1, but 2.
Seriously. I mean,
Can we go and get 2 late ones?
This is super shithousey of me, Dave, but is Richarlison shown to be the best forward of our season?
We just look better with him up front. Everyone all around. He gives us he does the forward play. Oh, that's a free ref. That's a bad one on the side. So that's a red card. That's horrible. I don't like the Celso, but that's a red. Okay, maybe not. Maybe that's a bit harsh.
Yeah, I think you saw that. I think you saw him get fallen on top of afterwards. Sonny, play him.
Play someone you're going to...
Oh, my Lord. He skimmed him alive.
Come on.
Sir!
No, he's got the ball first, I think.
Sonny's,
that's better, though.
He's
that's
tearing
better.
him apart on the left. He's tearing him apart on the left. Doing far more than what Brennan Johnson ever did. He's just got it. It hit his arm there.
Did it?
That hit his arm. That looked like it did. That touch from Sonny looked like it hit Kwanzaa's arm.
Back to your keeper, Skip. Or Van de Ven. Ref, he's assaulting him there. Oh my lord, he hasn't given it. Crowd him out.
Oh my gosh. No way. No way. Oh my
First
Lord.
of all, how has Mo Salah been given that much time?
How is he even allowed to make contact with it? How's he even allowed to make contact with it?
Even he's laughing.
This is unbelievable. Adrian Chia as well saying, looks like my super chat helping with the goals. Adrian, when we needed a good luck charm, you've been it. You've been it this season. You've been a bad luck charm. You've been a good luck charm. We wouldn't have been able to do this season without you, Adrian. It probably shows that this front three, they wouldn't have even been able to score some of the goals maybe they have this season had it not been for some of your super chats at the right moment. So, Adrian, you can take responsibility for some of the goals we've scored today and probably plenty of this season. Big up, my man. And then also Patrick McCory, just a sec here, though. Spurs, can they get...
Oh, come on. Oh.
Patrick McCory, Dave and Jack, buy yourself a drink with an umbrella, Ella. You deserve after commenting on this shower of shite. And says we'll be challenging for the title next year. He is out of his depth in this league. Patrick, I think that's something we'll have to continue to face and have to have conversations with when it comes to Ange. You might know this, but Dave and I have been big backers of his and have been big defenders of his. But, you know, there's only so many results like this that you can really take as a manager, especially with a big club like Spurs. Yeah. We also are a massive club, and I don't think you can take 4-0, you know, on a regular basis like this. Is he given a penalty? No, he's not.
No, he's
offside?
not surely. Yeah, offside. Thank God for that. First,
nope.
You know, I do like a good cranberry juice, you know, or something like that. That'd be nice. I believe orange and cranberry juice mixed together with some crushed ice is absolutely perfect. I'll stick my umbrella in there. That'd be absolutely nice. Look, as far as Ange, I do get the shouts, you know, where people are saying he's out of his depth and stuff like that. But, you know, I am becoming concerned of how we're starting to make every manager look. Even if I agree with your point, right? Which, nicely and respectfully, I don't, right? But if I did agree with it, surely we have to look at the manner of, you know, okay, we say Ange's out of his depth. Oh no. Jesus Christ. Trent nearly scored one from beyond the halfway line. But we also made Conte look outdated, not good enough for the modern game anymore. Same with Jose Mourinho, but he left Tottenham and went on and won a cup that we got knocked out of the year before underneath him. We can't keep making managers look like this. At some point, we have to look beyond the manager and look at what we've got and say, hang on a minute, this can't keep being right. We keep sacking managers, nothing's changing. At the end, coming out of the end of every single season, we keep coming out with the same things heading into summer. We need to do this. Do we need to change a manager? People forget we were under similar circumstances at the back end of last season. At some point, we have to stick with a manager. Now, look, whether people believe Ange's the right one or not, that's on them, and I'm not going to tell them how to feel. But I think hopefully you will agree with me. At some point, we do have to stand there and get behind the manager, regardless of these results happening. If you get my drift, Patrick, big up though.
Mai Tai.
Classic Coke.
Mai Tai with a little umbrella. I can think of that as being a good one that comes with it. I do like a mojito, Patrick. I'll be honest. I like almost anything. That's just sort of, especially at this stage, I will probably take almost any drink order. You could hand me probably like a White Claw or something, and I would still have it. And I usually hate that sort of stuff, and I would probably have it at this stage with a game like this. Big up, though, Patrick. And I do appreciate you, sir. And thanks for also, as well, like if you feel very differently about Ange or you kind of feel like the writing's on the wall, thanks for still listening to us. And thanks for still, seeing our way of looking at it. And I think I even might sympathize with you slightly more, with your opinion here, because I'm still keeping my confidence in Ange because I just don't want us to become a bit of a Watford of a club of just sacking managers left and right. But even then, I still think that this is hard to take as a fan. I don't know how sustainable it is really to constantly say, the process or the project when you're finding yourself 4-0 down like this, all the time. And how much does this even paper over the cracks? Like 4-2? I don't really think it does. Like, you can't go 4-0 down like this. But interesting, Patrick. And thank you again, sir, for just listening to us. I can't even believe that you haven't been pissed off with us already. James Madison, can you find Sonny? Sonny?
Don't lose it.
So what was that?
Oh. Look, I obviously agree, going down by these scorelines and not coming back and having to fight back all the time. It's not sustainable. I fully get that. But in order for this to change, there has to be squad rotation. Even if you bring in a new manager, there still has to be squad rotation, and it could end up being more than what you originally planned because a new manager with new different ideas, new traits that he looks for players in each position and stuff like that. We're going to keep going around in this circle, if you know what I mean, Patrick. But big yourself up, my man. First of all, I really appreciate it. Could definitely do with a drink for sure. Here we go, Sonny. Can we go and get a late
Can
third?
you make it 3? Can you make it even more interesting? It's definitely provided entertainment towards the end here. I'm very glad, actually. If I could take any solace, it's the fact that I have been entertained in the last 20 minutes from this.
Yeah. We've looked better the last 20 minutes, no doubt about it. But again, it's all too little, too late. That's where my frustration comes in. Start like this,
We need to go down 4-0 every game to score, I guess.
Like, if they could just start like this, we wouldn't have any issues.
Oh, poor touch from Matters. Lo Celso. Jeez.
Oh,
That's
my
bad.
Lord.
Lo Celso, man. Salah. In behind for
no.
Szoboszlai. Shanks it wide. It's just two teams who couldn't give a shit, looks like. Liverpool
two
and
teams.
Spurs.
Do you know what this resembles? Two teams on the holidays, Jack.
No, two teams on the
that
holiday. It's a
couldn't
bit of
give
a training ground, game. It really is a bit of a training ground game.
It's actually a question I had in the pre-match build-up. Is this just a training exercise? But I didn't want to put that spin on it, if you know what I mean.
Feels like that. But with Spurs, though, I mean, I'd say they have less of an excuse to play that way than Liverpool do. Liverpool truly do. Richarlison in behind. Come on. Richie!
Oh, Sid!
Oh!
Back post! Oh!
Johnson battered into the side post. Richie nearly scored there. Oh my gosh. He could have had a hat trick, probably, Rich. He's been brilliant since he's come on.
Yeah.
Oh, Richie. Not kidding. I'm sorry, everyone. This is a bit of a shithouse thing to say. It's a shithouse thing to say, but Richie might have actually been, no matter how much people hate this guy, probably has been our best forward this season.
Yeah.
You look at the cold, hard numbers, and when this guy's been on the pitch, we score goals.
Oh, I wonder, is that a high foot?
It felt like a penalty. It felt like a penalty at first look. It's hard to know there. We
won't get it, but
yeah, we'll never get it.
If that was a Tottenham player that done that.
Yeah, you do wonder. Brennan Johnson wasn't wearing that white shirt.
Like, he's gone with his head.
Are they looking at giving it a pen? They
are looking at this. Well, his foot is head high. I mean, personally, I don't think it should be a penalty.
No, waved on. Yeah, waved on.
Again, why are they stalling our momentum, though? If you're not going to give it, just decide quickly enough you're not going to give it. You don't need to have 4 discussions over a cup of tea and a cherry fucking Bakewell.
And again, Patrick, really thankful, sir. Really do appreciate the support from earlier. And Adrian Chia as well. Thanks for helping us score the goals earlier, Adrian Chia. Thanks for helping us score. Carl Knight, big up Carl Knight, saying if Spurs eventually get rid of that bald Levy plus Enoch, things should improve. Until then, nope, no chance. 4 straight defeats, pathetic. Oh, so predictable. I think that's where a lot of people feel like in general about Spurs, Carl, is that really no manager stands much of a chance with kind of this institution of owners in charge. It's just that you don't want them to continue to suffer kind of the same patterns of, getting sacked and, being put through the ringer. It's just whether it's been an attacking manager, a defensive manager, a proven manager, an unproven manager, they all suffer the same fate, and they all seem to suffer the same fate in very similar ways, whether it be from a lack of conviction and real backing, from the owners, or it's also kind of players turning on the manager quite quickly after things go wrong. It always seems to be pretty similar.
But see, partly like what I always say, we need to give a manager a chance, and give them a chance. Because we're not like what Chelsea were a few years ago, where they could just roll in the next manager, things would change and go on and win a title because of the squad they've got. We don't have that, and we also don't have the luxury to go and buy players in one. Well, we do. We just choose not to go and buy it all in one window. We do it in drips and drabs. So that's why I keep saying to people, you have to give a manager a chance to build it, because we're not going to do it all in one window. But look, in terms of the culture and the winning mentality, I mean, the club would be doing themselves a service if they actually stuck by fucking Ange Postecoglou and doubled down. Because what it does is it sends out a message to players. It's like, you think you can down tools? No, that ain't happening. We're backing this manager, and it all comes from that. And for me, I think that's where the club really let themselves down a lot. And it's really, really annoying, Carl. Look, as for the owners, look, there's been protests and everything else like that, but and fair play to them guys for putting the effort in and time and everything else. But the thing is, they ain't going anywhere unless someone stumps up the money that they're looking for the club. And that's the reality of it. It doesn't matter what pressure's put on them. It really doesn't matter. Look at the pressure that fans put on them for decisions to make. It doesn't matter. Until they get the right money, they ain't moving anywhere. And that's why I say to people, this is why we need to leave a manager in the job and stop putting pressure on them all the time. Because with the way we operate...
God,
with the way we operate, it's always going to take time, Carl. No managers, a lot of managers aren't given a fair shake under this ownership. Completely agree.
Also, as well with Carl, 4 straight defeats. I think that's the first time any Spurs manager has actually had that happen, which is very scary to think.
I think that's the first time since like 30 years ago.
I think they said, first time in 20 years, basically. So I think it's first time in Enoch and Levy's tenure.
Oh my Lord.
First time in Enoch and Levy's tenure they've ever had a manager go 4 defeats like this. Let's be honest, though. 4 defeats is bad. Very bad.
Oh, it's bad. It's shocking.
These are 4 teams that you would, if you were to lose to 4 teams, maybe, you wouldn't be surprised that this were the drum of them, right? Newcastle away from home. Arsenal, North London Derby, Chelsea away from home, and Liverpool away from home. It is not a good run of fixtures. You do expect that Spurs would get a point or something at least in one of those games. So you do expect that Spurs get something in one of those games. But I would say if you were to make a mean list of fixtures, that would be a mean list of fixtures to put back to back to back.
And the thing is, the damage wasn't done in these games either. I think many Spurs fans were sort of maybe expecting, to lose these games. It's the fact that we lost to Fulham in the run-in.
Yeah.
Brighton, dropping points at Wolves where we shouldn't be and stuff like that. It's all the sort of missed opportunities before that is really maybe being compounded by this run of defeats as well, which is really setting the mood around the place. But look, it's not acceptable. It's also the manner of the defeats, Arsenal, we wait till we go 3-0 down, look, complete void of confidence before we try and make some sort of spirited comeback. Same today, we wait till we're 4-0 down. That ain't right. Chelsea, we wait till we were 2-0 down. It's just not right. That pattern can't keep happening, It just can't. That's not right. But the damage done, make no mistake about it, was the silly points we dropped in the running up to these games. We knew we had to do the majority of our work and put points on the board before these games come rolling around, and we failed.
Very good point. Big up, Carl.
Adrian Cheers says you guys are the legends, the real legends of the season. Big up. Oh, I don't know about...
You're a legend for putting up with us, Adrian.
The more this goes on, to be brutally honest.
You're a legend for putting up with us for this long,
you guys are sound for putting up with us.
And it feels like Dave and I probably would be, we'd be watching this game together likely, but, we'd just sort of be kind of trying to make sense of this, and it's very, very amazing that so many of you even want to, sit with us, doing this with us, trying to make sense of things with us, trying to, get some type of therapy. We do appreciate it. Thank you, Adrian, my man. It's been
I just wish the team would show half the fight and half the spirit us fucking fans do, Jack.
Yeah. It's been a lot of roller coasters this season, Adrian. Big up, sir.
Oh, it could be in trouble here. Liverpool have a 2-on-1.
Cross.
Gets the ball across
well done from Romero. And well done for Mickey. It's too late probably to get the 4th. We had our chances earlier. We actually really did as well. We did have chances to get more. We just didn't take them. But what can you really do? I mean, this has been a basket case of a game. Oh, that's poor
my
from
Lord.
Madison.
Holy
That's so poor from Madison.
Useless.
It's just
and that's off
that
the back of the touch
as well.
that went out for a throw in there a minute ago.
He might be on here. Yeah, he's probably on.
5-2.
Yeah. Is he on? By the lack of celebration,
Offside.
yeah.
Offside.
Romero, the way he was tracking back, made it look like he could have been on.
No, he's off. Romero, brilliant piece of defending. Shame, because Nunes actually found some end product for once. Celso, Basuma. At least get a turret and make the scoreline make the game look a lot closer than what it was.
Yeah, let's keep stat padding Richie.
Skip. Basuma back to Skip, no. Well done. He's actually had a secretly good game today.
Yeah, I don't really get the scapegoating of Basuma. Like, I can, again, Dave, I think you and I could have a conversation about what he could improve on, what he'd do better about. Yeah. Of course, like, he's by no means a perfect midfielder, but I really don't understand the scapegoating of him sometimes. I'm fascinated by it, actually, because it's just, what has he really done? He's probably been, sadly, one of the best players on the pitch, really, today, Basuma.
He's done very well for Tottenham today, to be fair to him. Fucks.
Pedro Porro with Darwin Nunez. There's Harvey haircut.
Stephen Thomas says at least the sub's done something. But you know what? This is the problem. You know, Ange could pick them substitutions next week and they'll be shite starting. You know what I mean? This is the problem. How many times we said, the subs have worked and the subs have an impact. And then you go and give them opportunities and then they let you down the following week.
Another thing that maybe we've forgotten about, this is why we've continued to harp about the front three today, but we've just had to continue to roll out like kind of the same guys of Johnson and Kulu of recent, right? Who have just been useless. Like, it would be really nice to have Solomon or just someone different to try. But we kind of just have to continue to pretty much put out versions of the same thing.
I think one thing is clear for me. Between now and the end of the season, Richarlison has to go up front and Son has to go back out left.
Oh, my Lord. What a save from Vicario. Probably was on that time. Looks like it's about to come to an end here.
Thank God. Another story of too little, too late again, Jacko.
Oh, definitely so. 4-2. Basket case of a game. Very, very painful for the majority of it. Nice to at least see entertainment towards the end there, but still, I think that papers over the cracks. Those 2 goals really does. Yeah, what a sad performance, really. So many frustrations, I'll be honest, everybody, from the front three just proving to be completely useless at times, if not throughout the majority of this game, to some of the individual play from players just being so poor, and also kind of the head-scratching ones where I did think certain players were actually playing pretty well. I don't know what they really could have done, because we were just being let down on so many different levels. Hard one to take, this one, just because it's another embarrassing defeat. I'm glad it, at least on the score, it makes it slightly better. But yeah, that was at one stage I very much felt like turning it off. I'm glad we tried to make a comeback in this game, but more pressure on Ange for sure. More pressure on the players. More question marks will be raised.
It's just the same. It's been the same for a good half of the season, though, Jack, where we're relying on spirited comebacks. Even some of the games we won, Brentford, teams like that, we showed up for moments in the second half, Luton, and just got over the line. You know, it's a big problem. Again, it's another story of, you know, if only we could play like that for 90 minutes instead of 45 minutes and that. I'd actually make the argument we've actually gone up to Anfield and probably created more chances than I've ever seen us create at Anfield, yet still only come out with 2 goals. And then, you know, we've actually limited Liverpool to, you know, well, actually, no, Vicario pulled off a great couple of saves, a couple of blocks. I lie there. But, you know, we've actually created more chances. We're just so shit going forward. And it was both of our problems in the first half. Every time we kept on going forward, good opportunities on the break, we don't take them. The ball turns over. That ends up in the back of our net or a shot on our goal. It's a large part of our problems here. Don't get me wrong. I'm so unhappy, like everybody else, you know, that we keep losing these games. But realistically, coming into these big games, we knew what was going to happen. The damage was done earlier on in the season when we were playing shit and everyone was like, oh, just wait till we get our injuries back and stuff like that. It hasn't happened. And we can sit here, we can go Ange out if that makes us feel better and everything else. But we're still going to go into the new season with the same problems and come out the back end the next season with the same problems yet again. Sacking a manager and putting pressure on a guy to get sacked is not going to be the answer at this football club. And it's just not. We've tried it so many times. Don't get me wrong, I think there's things that Ange needs to work on, maybe things that Ange needs to tweak. But I think he'll do that when he's given more players of his ilk for his system in the summer, more players that he trusts. He alluded to earlier on in the season, once they get what I'm trying to do here, there will be more adaptations and more things to add to this. But he hasn't been able to get to that point. And sadly, today, what we've seen is a game where two teams are on holidays. You think the team would have been boiled by Brighton beating Aston Villa going, do you know what? We've got one last hope. Third time lucky. Let's actually try and take this opportunity and seize it with everything we can. And we didn't. We bottled it again. And look, I'm just quite glad that this season is over now. No more hopes. Hopefully we can try and finish in the Europa League spot and go again next season. But, you know, this isn't solely on Ange Postecoglou. He can't legislate for Johnson not tracking back and doubling up with Emerson, realising the threat that Liverpool are overloading 3 players down that side. He can't legislate for Kulu not wanting to do the same the other side. He can't make them make the right decisions in the final third with the football. He can set them up in a way, but then it's up to them in terms of football and game intelligence. There's a lot of things that people put on Ange that are actually beyond his control and actually down to the quality of some of the players that we have right now. So look, I'm just hurt like everybody else. I know there's going to be a lot more Ange out noise and stuff like that, but me, I'm still fully behind Ange, and I think we need to back him over the summer regardless, and that's where I'm at with it. Don't get me wrong, today hurts and it's not good enough, and everyone needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror. It's been 3-4 hard weeks. In fact, it's been hard weeks since October, November. Let's not kid ourselves. But we were in the exact same position coming to the end of last season. We sacked Conte, we brought in Stellini, didn't get an improvement. Sacked him, brought in Mason, didn't get an improvement. So there lies your answer.
I'd say I slightly correct, that it's been hard since November, October. Maybe some of the wins haven't been as convincing, but I think there were far more signs of progress during those periods because we were getting some good performances, with Emerson and Ben Davies playing as center backs, right? And we were still seeing us playing with a high line, playing very quick, progressive style of play. It's just kind of a little bit of that belief and energy that we'd even see when we were down to virtually no one in the squad. I still thought we were seeing much, much better performances actually out of our players and out of the team as a collective and as a whole. And we weren't getting also exposed, I think, nearly as much actually with some of those guys in the back line, right? And that says a lot about something must be going wrong here because when we had midway through the season, pretty much nobody left in the team. And I think we were still getting much better performances actually out of everybody.
We were seeing more fight, weren't we?
More fight, but even I wouldn't say, tactically actually, Ange should have been exposed more in those games, right? Because he has far worse players to be picking from in those games. But I'd actually say in these recent games, we've just been getting exposed so much more defensively and stuff. And then I wonder, is that also down to what you're alluding to? Energy, commitment levels, actually them buying in, that sort of thing. Because if we're able to, I think, put out much more defensive, performances when we've had, like I said, Davies and Emerson back there and, a Højbjerg starting and that sort of thing, it leaves you very confused, really. At least me personally, me confused. And the biggest issue I think has been when I've started to raise an eyebrow, Dave, is since basically we've gotten mostly everyone back from injury. That's when I think we started really seeing no signs of real improvement, no signs of real progress. It's really been strangely since we've gotten Madison back from injury, since Mickey van de Ven back from injury, and others. And everybody thought it would be the complete opposite, really. Everybody thought it would be the complete opposite. It's just this team hasn't gelled together back to the original form they had from even the beginning of the season or even halfway through the season. Like I said, I was much more of a fan of this team when we actually had all those injuries and everything, and we were playing all these guys that we don't even really rate, but I still liked that team more because I saw a fight and I saw that they actually were still trying to play Postecoglou's way, and I can totally get with that. But the fact that we now have close to our strongest team now, and we're not even, really guaranteeing that half the players will be really giving their all or even fighting for Ange or his style or even this club is a little scary. I think that's where I get a little scared because why is it that all of a sudden this team, now that it's pieced back together, looks so much worse. How much of that is on Ange, I'm not sure even, because a lot of these
Look,
guys seem to be downing tools.
this is inherent at this football club, though. You know, the minute things aren't going right for some of these guys, all of a sudden they lose belief in the manager, and then you see this. Under Conte, we qualified for Champions League, and I believe it or not, last season we got off to a very similar sort of idyllic start the way we did this season. But we still ended the season with three managers. You know, under Jose Mourinho, we were top of the league up until I think nearly December, and it completely tailed off towards the end of the season. He ended up costing him his job. This is inherent at Tottenham Hotspur. This isn't just, an Ange Postecoglou problem. It's because we have nothing left to fight for. Come the end of the season, the players are on the beach with 8 games to go. They couldn't give a toss. They couldn't give a shit. And then we sacked the manager for it. But, if some of these players aren't motivated by winning games, you can't blame the manager for that every single time. You can't keep doing it. At some point, you have to question the ability and the ambitions of some of the squad we've got. And this is where I get a bit confused, because we are rotating the squad, but we still have some remnants of some of the years gone by. And is that what's holding it back? Do we fully need to rotate it for us to see a fully refreshed sort of way of thinking? Because the way I see it, when you've got half of your squad that have still been around here for some time, of course things slack off towards the end of the season because they're used to it. But one thing I know is this is a pattern that's inherent at Tottenham down the last few years. It can't continue that way.
Dark Sun G says, if only we had a good left back today, we could have gotten a draw. I'll kind of have to break this down two ways for me, Dark Sun G. Emerson, I thought, was very poor on the goal that we conceded. He looked at Salah, quickly forgot about Salah behind him, then ended up trying to make, to catch him out on the offside, or went to step up with the rest of the defense. I don't even think the whole defense even stepped up with him as well. So it really was just poor. And he got caught out there. And I think also, too, in other little moments kind of defensively in that first half, he just looked very nervous and did not really fill me with a lot of confidence, really. I think he slowly started to get a little bit better, and he wasn't getting exposed as much. But I don't think Emerson really had a great day. And I think it was another pretty, poor performance from him in the left back position. And we are getting exposed, and we are getting hurt for that. We don't really have anybody to pick from. Davies, I don't think, is really ideal either. And even if we did throw Dragusin out there, it could have been better, who knows, but it still was not going to be ideal, and it still probably was going to lead to a lot of problems. Then I would say it's not wholly on Emerson, right? I think Emerson bears the majority of the responsibility for how much we were getting destroyed down that right side. But it was very obvious that that Liverpool team were targeting that area. They put Elliott out there. They put Salah out there. They put Trent out there. They had two very technical players in Elliott and Salah who can cut inside, create space that way, create overloads. And then they have Trent, who's easily one of the best passers and crossers of a ball in all of, I think, Europe, if not the Premier League. And so that's just, it's going to be a hard ask of a guy to try to handle all three of those players at once. And we saw what Johnson was doing. He wasn't tracking back, wasn't giving much of an effort at all to help him out in those situations when he did have 2-on-1s or 3-on-1s, right? And Emerson was eventually going to get exposed and was going to have a tough night to deal with that. And he could have been helped out more. I don't think he really did all that well, though, individually. Like, he still could have been better, but it wasn't going to be an easy day for him if he's not going to get any help from Johnson or from, I think it was, it's hard to remember if it was Sarr or Bentancur. I think it was Sarr that was on that side as well. And it just felt like he wasn't getting helped out that much from either of them. More so Johnson, but really not from either of them.
No, I definitely agree with that. I think when you look at it, Jurgen Klopp was smart. He put all of these sort of creative flair players out that side. He knew ones that would break the door. Look, first goal was Emerson, like you said, Jack, was Emerson's fault. He tried to play the offside trap without knowing where Mo Salah was. And in them moments, if you're not sure, you got to stick with your man, because 9 times out of 10, if he sticks with Mo Salah there, he wins that header. So, it could have been preventable. I think the third goal was his fault as well. Actually done good work defending Mo Salah, then thinks he's got all day on the ball. Thinks he's Ronaldinho and is made look like Ronald. But like Jack said, it's like them goals he's culpable for. Split-second decision-making, absolutely shocking. That's something I criticise Davies for, and I'm going to be consistent, and I'll also double down at Emerson's door today. But Johnson needs to wake up so much more. I mean, I keep saying this, he's not a big game player, but him getting back and actually just realizing the danger, even if he just does it for 5 fucking minutes, just to try and alleviate it a little bit and deal with it and eliminate that threat from Liverpool, but he doesn't want to do it. And it just, at one point, it was like Emerson goes to Mark Salah, Trent Alexander's left for free as a bird out there. If he goes to try and put pressure on him, Mo Salah just pops out and receives the ball, and Emerson's left in no man's land. But look, at the end of the day, it was a bad day from Emerson. Them 2 goals completely on him, and I'm not shying away from that.
No, very, very poor for 2 goals. It's just that it's not 100%, I think, on him. His that bad display on the right-hand side is just not 100% on him, but he does bear the majority, I think, of it. Dark Sun G also says, Udogie injury cost us these big 3 games. If only, yes, it made a lot harder on us, Dark Sun G. It truly did. But I'd agree with Dave, and I'm not sure if you agree with him either. But I agree with what he said earlier. I think it was the games earlier in this season that cost us, the Brightons, the Wolves, those sort of fixtures, right? I think we could have maybe lost some of these games, and it wouldn't have been as damaging to our position, to even the potential of a Man United or a Newcastle coming back. I mean, that's ridiculous that they could even be coming back, because they've been pretty terrible all season, those teams, right? They've dropped far more points throughout it than we have. And if they were to come back, it would just show that maybe some of those games like Brighton and Wolves, and Fulham should have just done so much better. West Ham as well. 2 times where we've dropped points to West Ham this season, which usually never happens. I think that's what's hurt us more than actually the Udogie injury. I think with a team like this, Dave, we're only a project. We're not expecting to be finishing close to the top of the league or anything. So if you pick up a bad injury towards the end of the season, I actually don't think it's the worst thing in the world. It's just that, some of those losses that we even were picking up before Udogie got injured maybe is kind of the worst part, I think, like you were saying.
No, 100%. Look, that's where the damage was done. Although we were getting over the line and just getting over in some of the games, but there's other games where we couldn't put 2 wins back to back together, and that's where the damage was really done. That Fulham game, we needed to win. We bet Aston Villa, we needed to win. Fulham, we didn't. That Newcastle game, we should have won, or at least got something out. We didn't. Brighton slapped 4-0, should never have happened. Should have got something out of that. Wolves twice this season, should have got something out of that. West Ham twice this season, should have got stuff out of them. That's where the damage was done. But the fact that we're sitting here going, oh, if we had Destiny Udogie, we might have been able to compete a lot more. I 100% agree with that. But that goes to show that it's not all on Ange Postecoglou. The fact that the club doesn't have a competent left back here, and we haven't for quite some time, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not on Ange Postecoglou. You can't put that on him. He's trying to make, square pegs fit into round holes, and it's just never going to work at that point. And we keep blaming managers when it doesn't work out, and he has to do that, and we keep going, well, he's to work with what he's got. So he's to trade absolutely his whole philosophy because the club don't have a backup left back here. I'm sorry, it does not wash with me. And that's again why I say you got to keep sticking with the manager. If he had another left back at the squad that he wanted, that he chose, you might not have seen what we've seen over the last couple of games. You might have actually turned 1 or 2 of them into results. So again, that's why I say can't put everything on Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, Dark Sun G, will he last the whole season, right? After another defeat like this, I know you maybe felt confident that he would last the whole season, be one of the only managers to have in some time. But after a game like this, more pressure, the club might have to come out, make their claim or at least show what they're feeling. That they either have to rip things up with him or they have to double down and prove to people that they are sticking by a guy, that they actually believe in a project of his. And it's tough times right now, Dark Sun G. Once again, just not ending seasons the way we should be. I'd like to have a Crystal Palace end to the season. I want to have like a Fulham end to the season where, you don't have much left to play for, but you want to just be, beating teams 3-0, get the occasional kind of nice day out. Even what Liverpool had today, right? Not really anything left to play for, but they still got to enjoy, a 4-2 game like that. And it's just disappointing that we haven't been able to do that. And I'm not sure if we will get to have one of those days really at the end of this season. It's just been very, very hard to take here. And I think that's what also leaves people frustrated, Dark Sun G, is people are just at the end of the season here and they want to see Spurs finish strongly, and we are finishing the opposite very poorly. Very, very
I just feel like it's deja vu all the time here, Jack. It's like the same people that were saying to me, Dave, sack Conte, and then coming back going, see, Dave, I told you sacking Conte would have made a difference. So now the same people sitting there going, get Ange out of the football club. I just do not understand that. And for me, we got to stop going around in these circles and these deja vus. At some point, we got to show a bit of steel, a bit of guts, and a bit of bollocks, and fucking hang in tight and put some effort behind some guy and go, no, he's our guy. Go and back him. We all have our problems with the owners and know how they operate, but yet we put it on a manager. We think sacking him, think the next guy off the rank, and all the problems are gone with him. Sadly, that's not the case. So we just need to start. I don't like it just as much as everyone else out there, but at some point we have to show some steel cojones, for God's sake.
Steel cojones indeed here, everyone. Maybe a slight solace or a slight positive from this is Richarlison coming back in again, and I think just showing people what he can bring. I don't think Richarlison is the answer or is the solution for Spurs or the attack by any means. I think we do probably need real competition and a real prolific target man. But what he was doing is what Dave and I have been describing for some time now. A guy who will make those runs in behind at the right time, will hold up the ball, be that sort of, guy that people can play off of. That's what the whole point sometimes of a striker is to play off of someone. And Richarlison was doing that today. And with the goals and assists that he provided, it feels like he's actually had secretly the best season of any of the front players, including Son. Son had such a great start to the season, but has sort of whimpered out, I think, a little bit towards the end here and has lost a bit of confidence in himself. I think he's still a great player. And once he was out on the left, we started to see, him back at his best again. Or at least him looking more comfortable, probably is what I should say. And Richarlison, though, I thought that was a slight positive today, Dark Sunji, as well. Is this, him coming back on and showing that he's not completely useless, despite what people continue to say about him. He also follows up Dark Sunji by saying the Blues aftermath cost us Romero 3-game ban, Udoji 1-game ban, Van de Ven matters 3 to 4 month injuries. That period we dropped so many points from Wolves, Brighton, Villa, West Ham. It was very unlucky, and AFCON and Asian Cup as well. So Dark Sunji is more pointing to that winter period, Dave, and it really more so after the Chelsea game, where it was just a catalog of injuries. It was just an apocalypse of a game where everything didn't go our way. And he thinks maybe it was just sort of bad omens for the rest of the season, because then you had, the Wolves game and all that stuff where we're dropping points, injuries here and there in really crucial places. He thinks that was just such a big disruptor to the season, right? It really did disrupt and throw out, the groove and the rhythm that we were, right? It's about building rhythm. It's about building chemistry. It really just messed up a lot of the chemistry, a lot of the rhythm that was being built in this team. It was a huge roadblock.
No, it's a complete roadblock, but it was the same under Conte last season. People forget all the injuries we had last season underneath Antonio Conte. How many did we have then? And I keep saying this. Keep allowing bang average players to stay here over the summer. Keep making excuses for them. When they come back to pay the price for it, don't come and cry to me. How many times have I said that? And I'm sorry, but when a lot of our players got injured and suspensions started happening to our better players, we rolled out the B squad. We rolled out players that are just not good enough yet again. And yet again, we're sitting here making a mistake, blaming the manager because we can't get it back on track. Okay, some of the results, they were still up and down. We were still drawing one, winning one, losing one, and stuff like that. But I keep telling people they cost you all momentum. And then when your better players come back and go, right, back in time for the business end of the season, oh no, we're only challenging for Europa League. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, there's my motivation gone straight away. And that's why we keep seeing what we see coming out the end of every single season. I told people, you want to make excuses for Ben Davies in the summer, you're going to come back and sit here and be paid for it come the end of the season. We're here. Although he didn't play today, he did play games that cost us. I was the same with Emerson. I've made excuses for him. Look at him. He's come back and cost me today. Stuff like that. At some point, we have to double down and say, no, get a full squad here together. Because if not, this is going to keep happening. We always he's a good backup player. We make the mistake all the time. We shouldn't be looking for backups. We should be looking for players that want to come here and play and want to fight and get in the team. The fact that they set up a backup role, sit there, create no trouble in their hush, of course they are, because they're never good enough to be here in the first place. And it's just a knock-on effect for when all your good players come back, because they're also sick of the split loser mentality in the dressing room. It's always been like that. You've got one portion that want to win, some that want to lose. And unfortunately, the ones that don't give a shit about their career and just here for a happy day, payday, it always comes back to bite everyone that has with a winning mentality. And anyone with a winning mentality at this football club or tries to instill it, we campaign to sell them or we want to sack them.
Gonna have to find somebody to stick with, or it's just the fan base once again. It's just so split on it that it's going to be hard to, I think, try to bridge that sort of faith back again. You know, Ange at one stage had the whole fan base together, everybody collectively behind him and collectively behind the project, and now it feels just almost as split as it was, you know, under an Antonio Conte within the space of a season, which it really is absolutely crazy to find ourselves, like you said, in this deja vu situation once again here. Dark Sun G, I do feel like when it comes to building chemistry and when it comes to building rhythm and that understanding, that Chelsea game and even the injuries and everything that came with it, Asian Cup, African Cup of Nations, it did throw like a huge roadblock and a huge just sort of, obstacle in our season when it came to just sort of gelling together and everything. I think we missed a lot of opportunities there during the really crucial run of fixtures to gel, to better understand each other, to work the finer tune things, work out the kinks of the system. And maybe didn't get to do that really. It was kind of, once we got all of our best players back, it was kind of more the crunch time period of the season. It was more when it was kind of about the results instead of about developing as a team really. And we, I guess, have paid the price for it really hard. He follows up by saying, in the summer, first priority was a left back backup. Or in the summer, our first priority should be a left back backup. Second should be a Richarlison competition. Third should be a Madison backup. Fourth should be a left wing, right wing backup. I can't wait to see Bergvall next season dominating the midfield. I wonder, Dark Sun G, with Bergvall coming in, he could be looked at as sort of Lo Celso's replacement. And then we might want to find, like you say there, another number 10 maybe to compete with or look at for James Maddison. He started to look kind of in the last game. I think he was okay when he came on. He was playing some nice through balls and behind because the game was far more stretched. It's just Maddison will need to have a much better season next time around. I'd put your left wing, right wing backups much further high up there, if you ask me. Just because I feel like Johnson, Kulusevski, I'm very worried about them right now, Dark Sun G. They're not looking too great. I think they were both as useless as each other. Johnson or Kulu, I think both of them should be taken off. The fact that Johnson stayed on for pretty much the whole game, I think was pretty crazy. I guess he doesn't have much of a choice, but he really was not very helpful. And we do need left back backups. Richarlison competition, I just said that. A lot of people don't seem to have confidence in him, which shows that we need somebody that we can have confidence in. We do need someone in a similar mold to him, though, which is a target man who can be useful against the low blocks, hold up the ball, be able to handle the physical defenders of the Premier League. So we will need to find someone who can do that. I guess Jimenez seems to be the one that Spurs are looking at this summer. But yeah, Dave, I mean, I agree with all of Dark Sun G's suggestions here. Would you put a priority, list to it, or did it kind of all have to happen this summer, each one of these?
No, it sort of all has to happen. You have to do the backup left back. We went in about 15 needs to happen as well, and a striker has to happen. It all has to happen, and probably another someone in here to compete with Maddison. There's no excuses. If you want to build a bloody squad, no excuses, because if you don't, at some point you have to get the squad more to a manager's like field. I think a manager can genuinely deal with that and get other players to fill in. But when you feel for Postecoglou at times this season, he hasn't had his centre backs at times this season. He hasn't had his left back now. He hasn't had his striker for large parts of the season and stuff like that. I feel for him at times. He hasn't had his creative midfielder for large parts of the season. There's not. When he doesn't have the right options, he keeps, like I said, square pegs with round holes, and I want to get away from that. I've been campaigning to get away from that for quite some time. That's why I keep saying, stop having these debates over these average players and calling them backup players and everything else. We need a squad to compete, and that's what has to happen. There's no excuses. You've got to fill all the holes, Dark Sun G. Striker's the main one. The striker's the main one. Richarlison's done a decent job where he can, but you just can't rely on the guy to stay fit, so you need to bring in competition. I tried to warn everyone what was going to happen in the front line this season, but I was called deluded and didn't know football.
We are really missing players in crucial areas, especially when it comes to competition places, Dark Sun G. And the left back we're paying the price for, and I think we have been paying the price for not having some sort of Richarlison alternative or some sort of Richarlison competition for sure, because that means that we wouldn't have had to move players around in the front line, could have kept Sonny on the left wing. It's been a frustrating one. And then, yeah, like I agree with you with the other ones as well. He follows up by saying, I don't want to see Son as a number 9. He can't beat Virgil van Dijk or Zuma. I'm not sure what Zuma was brought up with Dark Sun G.
Well, I don't think he done well against West Ham up front either, did he?
Maybe he means the big, tall sort of center backs, the tree-like, big, imposing center backs. Yeah. I think it's just, Dave and I have said this, it really more is dependent on the opponent. If there's space in behind, if there's green grass in behind the back line, Sonny can be effective. He can be a very dangerous player, Dark Sun G. But if the ball is being played in front of the back line, if everything is with his back to goal, he struggles. Well, he can have an okay game. It's just he's inconsistent. I think there are games when he really doesn't have the confidence to play with his back to goal. 2 players like a Van Dijk or 2 players like a Zuma, like you say there, and it's been frustrating for him this season. The moment that he gets out on that left wing, though, I mean, look how many times that he took it past Trent and he was making things happen. All of a sudden, we were finding ourselves with the winger getting past his fullback and he's in the box and he's squaring it to Richarlison and things were happening. I feel like Sonny, he's better suited as a striker if you're playing probably more of a counter-attacking kind of game style where there is, you can invite on a lot of pressure and then you can look to hit in behind, look to try to hit it into space, and he can get there and he can cause problems. But the way we try to play, where we try to dominate possession, try to force teams back into their own half, it really doesn't suit him, I think. And I agree with you. It's just something we've been talking about a lot this season. And the only reason I think it works for Korea, Dark Sun G, is because you guys in a lot of games probably sit behind the ball against certain teams and then look to try to hit teams on the counterattack. And then that suits Sonny, I think. But we're not that sort of team, right? We're a very different team to that. So can't really play that way.
I'm very conscious here.
Oh.
It's only Spurs fan that imaginary told us that he was a striker because they wanted him to be the striker, even though it was never based off any evidence of him playing there for long periods over seasons. I have 9 years of evidence of backing up that he's a winger, if not longer. You look at him when he went back out there today, look how much more confidence he had, running at players, trying things, creating a bit of havoc, at least getting us into the box and creating chances. And that's what I've always argued, that's where he needs to be. We need to stop repurposing players at Tottenham Hotspur. We're experts at this. Ben Davies couldn't play left back, all of a sudden he's a centre back. Dyer couldn't play centre midfield, all of a sudden he was a centre back and stuff like that. It's continuous at Tottenham Hotspur. Stop repurposing players and imagining that there's something they're not without any evidence to it. But at Tottenham, we sort of go with that notion and we just put them out there for trial and error. Everyone's going now, should Son be sold? Look at Son, he's nowhere near as good as he was. First of all, get some fucking respect. Without his goals this season, we would be fighting in relegation. So get some respect, first of all, for Son. Second of all, it's not his fault that we have put him in a position that he's never played in his career. He can do a job there for a little period of time, but long term, as we've seen over the course of this season, it's not sustainable if we want to get the right results that we want. And third of all, I encourage everybody, you want to make the same mistake and hound Son out of this club? No problem. You'll be the very one sitting here crying about results and how shit we look going forward next season as well. Home truths. You don't like it, that's on you. But to say that Son's finished, he's ludicrous. He's our only world-class forward player, and he's struggling because no one else is on that level. Let's not get this convoluted here, because if we do, we're going to make a grave error.
I think he's looked so much better when he's played with Richarlison with him as well, Dark Sun G. When Sonny has someone he can play off of, someone he can play with, he's a far better player. And that's the case with most good guys. Like, they can't do it entirely on their own in every game, right? They do need somebody that they can play off of, someone who they can combine with and be able to create chances for, or they can create chances for them. And he's been needing that, I think, with Richarlison. Johnson has just been useless in recent games, as has Kulusevski as well. And I think Sonny's also just been missing that guy that actually has just a bit of competency in the forward line with him. And Richarlison's been that guy, and probably the only guy in the front line this season consistently, that, or at least to some consistency, has been that guy that he can play with, that he can work off of. And Sonny's much better at doing that when he's playing on the left. Artist, Dropkick Your Teacher Dave, saying, I think Kulu is in the same boat as Basuma. Shape up or get shipped out if there's a good offer. Might disagree with you here, Dropkick Your Teacher. I just think Basuma was not really the problem today. I thought he was actually one of the better players in the first half. Not saying that we were good or anything like that. And, you know, it's not asking for much, but I think Basuma was all right in the first half. He was sharp. I thought he was playing it quicker than other players were. Thought there were some good defensive moments from him, from seeing out danger and recovering the ball. Good second ball recoveries. I don't know, Dave. I might disagree with Dropkick Your Teacher. I don't think Basuma was as much the problem today, but Kulu definitely was an issue. Kulu was just like Brennan Johnson. Just every attack that went down his side just died, made poor decisions, wasn't really much of a threat at all. I'd say Kulu's in a different bracket than Basuma for me. Might disagree with him.
Look, I don't think we should be selling Basuma. I think we should be keeping him and looking to add more quality. Ideally, you go and sign a better player and lay the challenge down to Basuma. And if he doesn't take that challenge next season, you bring in the next guy on the rank that does want to accept that challenge. But to sit here and say to sell him, we're just putting ourselves in the same position we are next season. You're going to have a good, strong 11 and a shit bench. You know, selling Basuma ain't going to do anything. Selling some of our better players ain't going to be the answer to the problems. You know, it's just not. At some point, you know, you've got to keep them and add competition to it. So for me, I'll keep Basuma and I keep Kulusevski. Don't get me wrong, I'm pissed off with Kulusevski this season. But I'm not going to sit here and say he's done when we don't have a proper world-class striker up front. When Harry Kane was up front, we didn't have these conversations about him. We didn't have these conversations about some being too old or finished to play off the left-hand side, did we? Now all of a sudden Kane's gone, these conversations are cropping up. Half of our fan base wanted to sell Harry Kane. Be brutally honest about it. You wanted to sell Harry Kane. So, you know, stop. We got to stop doing this. Got to stop, you know, at the sign of first trouble with some players, some of our better players. Sell them. You want to create a squad. We should be talking about selling the Celso. Ben Davies. Cashing in on Ndombele eventually, or ripping up his contract. Jed Spence. People like that. We're having the complete wrong conversations if we want to move this club forward.
I think Basuma was one of the few bright spots, really, Dropkick Your Teacher today. If there were any bright spots, I think he was one of them. Might be just seeing the game differently today. Normally, I feel like we do see things quite similar, but, you know, perhaps we just saw different elements of the game. Or maybe there's something in the second half that you must have noticed. Maybe his game really dropped in the second half compared to the first. But when it was a closer game and when Liverpool were still, you know, playing at their, I think they sort of dropped off, I think, once they went 3-0 up. I think that was part of the reason we got back into things. But when it wasn't, the second half, I think Basuma, I think he helped. I think he was actually one of the few bright spots in the game. That's just how I saw things. And I don't really feel like he hasn't been doing a whole lot wrong. I could point out maybe little things that I could say he could improve on, but I don't think is nearly in the same boat as Kulusevski. I'm more worried about Kulusevski personally. Dark Sun G says Son isn't a physical guy, but he plays against the trees. I think Dark Sun G is right. We know Sonny is not a physical player, doesn't usually like that sort of thing, especially coming up against big, tall center backs like Van Dijk, like Zuma, like ones he's mentioned. But do you think he's pointing out, Dark Sun G, if I'm reading his message correctly, that that's something Ange needs to reconcile, that's something Ange needs to accept, that Son just isn't suited to play against those sort of guys as a striker? If that's what Dark Sun G is trying to say here, I think that Ange needs to look at Sonny differently.
No, of course he does, but let's not forget. He has to try and get the goals to come from somewhere. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think you just popped out for the first 5 seconds of that. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, look, Ange has to, people go, Ange needs to try things. He tries them and they don't work out. That ain't on him. At the end of the day, the plan going into this season, like many fans told you, was Son was the plan to go through the middle. That was never the plan. They sold Harry Kane the day before the season started. They took the main source of goals and creativity away. And he's tried to make it work between Son and Richarlison. Now, if Richarlison isn't fit, who goes up front? We don't have anybody else to go up front. So he has to play Son up there. Son also filled in up front for Harry Kane when he wasn't fit. But it wasn't a problem back then. But we had a much better squad behind him that could help feed him chances on the regular and stuff like that. Now we're asking Son to do it all on his own. And that's where your problem lies within. I know some people, like someone in the chat there goes, Dave, why do you always refer back to Harry Kane? That's a problem within itself. Because you won't even acknowledge the gaping hole and the problem that it's left us in. That's an absolute problem. Until we can have honest conversations about it, it's never going to be fixed. And we can never actually really part a proper play forward if we keep thinking everything that we do at this football club is right and it has no repercussions. At some point, we were on the wrong, well, not me, most people are on the wrong side of history. And we have to have honest conversations about it. We need to replace that front line. It's gone stale, it's gone crap, and it lacks quality. We sold a player with the quality. Now we have to go and replace him. We didn't replace him. That's not an Ange Postecoglou. He's playing Son up front to try and get the best out of the team that he can when Richarlison isn't fit for a lot of the times. Okay, he made the decision today, which I do think Ange Postecoglou got wrong. He should have persisted with Richarlison, and he should know by now that we look a lot better with Richie up front and Son off the left. But at the same time, he's trying to get a reaction from the Chelsea game, and I said this heading into the game. It doesn't matter what the guy does. It doesn't matter what changes he makes. We're just shit right now.
Yeah.
We're shit.
I think, too, Dark Sun G could have thought about Kulu at some stage, maybe as a striker when Richarlison was out and Richarlison wasn't fit. But Sonny might have to, I've said it before, he kind of had to take one for the team, I think, by just sort of playing down the middle and playing up there. And Ange Postecoglou sort of stuck him up there and I guess, tried to get the best out of it. It just really wasn't working. But it maybe was something that just Sonny sort of had to take for the team and just in general for the rest of the system to work. It's kind of then on, I think, players like Johnson and Kulusevski to carry a bit more of their weight, and they just didn't during that period. They really didn't. Sonny, I don't think, gets every excuse, though, in the world, though. He definitely wasn't playing well, though, either during that period. He could have been playing a lot better than he had been, but he does struggle, I think, in those situations for sure. And then he also follows up by saying we need to build our team around Son, Richie, Van de Ven, and Cudi Romero. What do you think, Dave? With Van de Ven and Romero, I think they're probably very frustrated with just continuing to concede goals like this. But this is the best. This is the back line to go with, right? You believe in Pedro Porro. You believe in Van de Ven, Romero, Vicario, Udogie, right? That is a good back four, isn't it? I mean, we should think of those guys as the future, as the foundation.
Look, I think it's a good, solid foundation to build off, and one that I'll be keeping every years to it. Of course I could. You can always improve. Unless one of them want to start all of a sudden defending set pieces better, then you might have to bring someone else that might defend set pieces a little bit better because it's a huge problem and displace one of them. But as a foundation, it's a good foundation to build off. And I'd argue they're players that actually look like, and with their performances, look like they actually care give you on the pitch regardless of the result and stuff like that. The one thing with all them players you can't argue is that they do fight an awful lot of the time for us. Look, when it comes to that back line, like today I felt sorry for them because of how bad, like the whole thing with attacking football, right? It doesn't matter whether you have Ange Postecoglou in charge, Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp. Whole thing with attacking football is you have to be able to sustain the ball in the opposition half for long periods of the game, pin them back and knock on the door. We can't string two passes together in the final third. So then it just gets your defenders run up to the halfway line backwards, midfielders run from box to box. It shouldn't be like that. It just should not be like that, and it's a huge problem. So get better players there, and I think you'll see a much more better backline, personally.
I think you can maybe just do one more refresh, Dave, because you are sometimes cutting out in the middle of your sentences, and I do want people to. I think we always, will, make someone, feel differently with what we say, or might, get someone pissed off. But we do want at least people to hear, I think, at least the majority of what we have to say. I definitely do agree, though. And then Dark Sun G says, our reliable players are Van de Ven, Vicario, Cudi, Son, Udogie, Porro, Madison, Sarr, Bentancur, Richie, Basuma, Johnson as a super sub, and hopefully Dragusin. We need 3 to 5 signings. I think I agree with you with probably around maybe 4 to 5 signings this summer, Dark Sun G. I'd agree with your priorities with the backup left back, with more competition in midfield when it comes to Madison, when it comes to a number 6. I also feel like we need better wingers to help compete with guys like Johnson and others. I do feel like we need better out there. And then we probably need a real target man, a real striker to be looking at as well. A lot of those guys I really like in that list, Dark Sun G, but I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Some of them I've grown very frustrated with this season. I've grown very frustrated with Madison. I understand it's his first season. I understand he had that big injury, but I do feel like he's not lived up to the potential that he was supposed to this season. I think a lot of people thought of him as mostly a complete player, like someone who was sort of ready to step in and hit the ground running, and he did from the get-go. He did hit the ground running, but he just hasn't had the season that I think most of us thought he would. In the beginning, we thought he was going to be having like a better season than Christian Eriksen's best ever season. That's how well he was playing, and that's how good he looked, but he's not been anywhere close to that player. Maybe for a ton of reasons, a lot of them maybe his own, but as well as probably because of the injury and the timing of it. It's just been a hard season for Madison. It's been hard for me to, keep my full confidence in him. I've just grown very frustrated with him at various stages. And then I'd say the same with Johnson. Johnson is someone who I've kind of gone back and forth with, where at times I thought I saw, the progress and the quality, but in his last recent showings, I've once again been very frustrated and sort of left kind of wondering, is there really much to work with there? Like, is there actually, much to get behind and much to believe in? Because he has just been really woeful, I think Johnson has. And also Kulusevski, as much as I love Kulusevski, Dark Sunji, I think in recent games, he too has just really fallen off a cliff when it comes to his form and when it comes to his impact and what he can bring. But I agree with you, 3 to 5 signings, and there are a lot of reliable guys. I think Romero has shown to be, Dark Sunji, the real leader in this team. I like Sonny as a captain when, in theory, but I think Romero has actually shown to be the best leader of this whole squad. I think Sonny's a leader too, but Romero has shown to be the most reliable mentality-wise and leadership-wise, and a lot of other guys in that list that I do like. But 2 of them I might have question marks about.
Spot on, Dark Sunji. Spot on, Jacko.
And then
look, even Brendan Johnson, just quickly, even at this point, I wouldn't sell him. I think he has his use as an impact sub off the bench when teams are tired and stuff like that, but he's just not a starter. You have to buy someone else in to start ahead of him.
And Dropkick Your Teacher says at this point, there's something happening behind the scenes with GLC as to why he's not starting. Him and Richie need to start going forward. I think Ange just doesn't believe in GLC in Lo Celso, Dropkick Your Teacher. It's something he must be doing in training, something maybe attitude-wise. Perhaps it was when he had those injuries, when Ange really did need him. Like, he needed Lo Celso for that period, and Lo Celso picked up injuries straight away. And that was maybe writing on the wall or something for Ange about whether he really did trust him for the long term. It just shows that he just doesn't trust him. He trusts Højbjerg more than he trusts Lo Celso. And Lo Celso, I don't think, has played really that poorly at all. Like this season, when he's come on, he's actually made impact. It's just something that Ange just doesn't like about him. There is something clearly there. And we're going to have to, I don't think I'm going to throw Ange under the bus if he doesn't believe in Lo Celso. I can see why, if you're frustrated by Madison not playing well, you think, you have to go with the other number 10, but it must be something that Lo Celso is doing that he just doesn't like. And then Richie, I think he has been getting that one slightly wrong. Either he's being way too conservative about his fitness or about his health, or, whether he could be injury prone, but he has needed Richie on plenty of occasions this season, and he needs to use him more. But with Lo Celso, Dave, what do you think? Dropkick Your Teacher saying Ange has to start him next game.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised if Ange did start him between now and the end of the season. At this point, what has he got to lose? It doesn't matter what 11 he puts out there. They are checked out for the season. It really doesn't matter. Look, the time for Lo Celso to step up and prove his worth to Tottenham has been and gone. That was when Maddison was out injured. He got, unbelievably, a 4th chance. He wasn't available to take it. And that is on him. And that's the story of his Tottenham career. No manager can ever rely on him. You can't just put this one on Ange Postecoglou. Conte didn't want him. Jose got rid of him as well very, very quickly. So, I mean, it's not all just on Ange Postecoglou with this Lo Celso thing. There's clearly something else going on that a lot of people around the club are seeing. I made this argument with Lo Celso and Ndombele in the summer. One of them will be kept as a number to this squad, just in case we really, really have to rely on them. But all you're picking between is who has a better attitude. And Lo Celso won that, and it's not hard to beat Ndombele. But as Spurs fans, and I plead, and I'm not aiming this at you, Dropkick, your teacher, because I see this everywhere. We've got to stop begging players to perform or stop asking for them to be rolled out there after 4 years of being missing in action. He's had his chance to pull this club out of the mire and hasn't let it on the football pitch when managers have given him the opportunities. And that's completely on him. But we have to stop begging players that haven't shown up. We just can't do it. We cannot keep going. The Celso's the answer. Play him, play him. He hasn't been the answer for 4 years. We bought a dud, we got sold a dud, and we haven't been quick enough to get rid of him. And there lies half our problem. Players that do not perform are allowed to sit around here for fucking ages, to see out the whole length of their contract. You look at Calvin Phillips that went to Man City. Look how quick he was in and out the door. Why can't we do something like that? We never do. And it's a huge problem. And the fact that he's still a part of this squad 4 years later is even more of a problem for me. And I think he needs to go. It sets a bad precedent and a bad culture. And it just sends on the message to any player that comes here. It really doesn't matter how you perform. All you've got to do is keep Tottenham in the top half of the table, which means you can roll out some weeks, not roll out the other weeks. It really doesn't matter. We want to build a winning culture. He has to be one of the first ones gone out of this squad this summer.
Lo Celso, I feel like, just probably ruined his chance by not being available during that Madison injury for me. Artist, I think that would have
that
been.
Was his chance.
I think that no reason Ange keeps him around the way he has this season if he didn't plan on using him at some point. It's just when he did have that chance to use him, wasn't available. And I wonder if Ange already then knew the story about the injuries, knew the story about the lack of fitness, that sort of thing, maybe even the attitude issues, and then just sort of kind of made his mind up with the guy. Just sort of felt like, well, there's your chance and you missed it. Might be harsh in your opinion. Might be harsh. I could see why, but I think Ange has just clearly made his bed. He's just made his decision with the guy, and I don't think there's any going back from it. Dark Sun G, though, says if we can get Eze, Onana from Everton, and Robinson/Kirkesh or Ait Nouri, then getting wingers and a number 9 from a different league. Lo Celso, Hill, Tanguy, and Højbjerg are out. Those would be 4 new foreign spots opened up. Very true, actually. Lo Celso, right, operating in a foreign spot that could be used by someone better. Same thing with Brian Hill. As much as we have defended him, he's clearly not being used and could be better served with a different player that occupies those foreign spots. And same thing with Tanguy and Ndombele, another player.
Tanguy doesn't open one because he's out on loan, so he's not currently registered with the squad.
Correct. But you do look at maybe the role as a midfielder that he has had. It'd be nice just to have, again, another midfielder of some quality that we could actually rely on and be able to pick from. And then Højbjerg will need to be replaced. We'll need to try to find a way to replace him as a squad player. I do like Onana from Everton. I don't see him as the number 6 that everybody else sees him as, actually. I do see him more in the mold of a number 8 because he has those great ball carrying skills. He knows how to get really high up the pitch and win the ball back up. He just doesn't really strike me as a real dominator of sort of the tempo and the passing range, that sort of thing, as a number 6. I think he can do a job there, don't get me wrong. I think he can do an okay job, but I do see him weirdly, just me personally, as more of a number 8. And then Eze, I think Dave and I, for a long time now, have been big fans of his, especially me. I think nearly 3 years ago, I was talking about Eze and how great I think he is. And I think he'd be probably showing Madison up right now if he was playing where Madison was. I think he'd really be showing him up in that number 10 role. Dave is a big fan of Kirkesh. I think Dave has even recommended him as an option for a backup to Nudoji. Everybody loves Anthony Robinson. I can totally see why. Bit of an Ait Nouri fan myself. That's just because I think
he's good. I like him.
It more has to do if we are to continue with inverted fullbacks, Dark Sunji. Ait Nouri might be slightly more comfortable playing midfield, playing kind of in the number 10 sort of positions. He just has that sort of real quality and possession about him, whereas I'd say maybe defensively he can be caught out a little bit. He's not as great, but I think going forward he really is terrific. And then we do need to find another number 9. And Dave, I mean, you can touch on anything I just said there, but when it comes to when it comes to a number 9, should we go to the English market, or should we try to maybe look at a different league, someone from outside the Premier League?
Look, I think if you went to the English market, I think Ivan Toney would be perfect. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's similar to
Hold up
Kane to
play.
a degree. Good hold-up play, can create goals, can score goals, takes free kicks, take penalties. Are Tottenham going to splash the cash? I would argue they should if they're really looking to improve the homegrown quarter of the squad. Dominic Solanke, look, I'm not his biggest fan. I do question, is he just a sort of, is it just this season he's having a phenomenal season? But again, he'd be more proven than taking a risk on someone like
Jimenez, yeah.
Look, I still think Vlahovic has all the right abilities, to come into Tottenham, do a job. Evan Ferguson, if you wanted a guy and, you wanted a bit of time, but do we have that time? I'm not quite so sure. But like, there would be some of the options I'm looking at. Look, one player I do want, and I've seen it today, Elise has a 50 million buyout clause of
Yeah.
going off for them 110 million and go and sign Eze and Elise and bring the boat in here. And try and get both of them guys in here. I think that would be a massive help in terms of you'd have cover for Madison or competition. You'd also have competition for your wide players and stuff like that. But for me, I think
Oh.
forward line this summer. But look, I really like Kirkesh Darkson. He's a good pick. I really like him, the Hungarian left back at Bournemouth.
I would also say, Dark Sunji, that wingers, I'm not sure if we should go for many outside the Premier League. I actually feel like there's a plethora of really good wingers in the Premier League right now. I'm not sure if they're going to be for sale or anything, but I do think there are some quality ones that you can go after, and some that might even be decent. Not saying we should be going for bargains or anything like that, but I do wonder if there's some guys in this league that, have really caught my eye that might not go for as big of a price as maybe others. And when you go for wingers from outside the Premier League, I think you really do make the risk of buying, another, what's a good example, like a Nicolas Pepe or like a Antony or something like that, or, players of that sort of ilk, right? You can take a big risk sometimes with them, or they might need more than a season to embed themselves in, instead of going after more Premier League quality. Whereas with the number 9, I think you might have to consider, going outside the Premier League, because it's just so hard to find a good target man, I think, these days. Ivan Toney, right? A very good option, but only so many like him, I think, even in Europe right now. And so you might have to think about someplace else.
I want to give Dark Song G, credit to his talent scouting, because he seems to, me and him seem to align a lot on certain players and stuff like that. He sends in players that I've already spoke to you, Jack, about and stuff. So, fair play to you, Dark Song G. You recognize a good player, my man.
I also appreciate the Dark Sun G. When it comes to Sonny, when it comes to Richarlison, I think, he, of course, we love people that might agree with us, but I do appreciate that Dark Sun G can understand where we're coming from when it comes to the dynamic between Sonny and Richarlison as well. And that's something I think we've agreed on a lot this season, I think all three of us. He also says, I would like Mbeumo from Brentford as a winger option. He is interesting, Dark Sun G, because he has been very good when he's on it. It's just you wonder if he's a Brentford level size player. I think he's better than Brentford, and he could easily play in a team like ours. I mean, he's better than Johnson for sure, and Kulusevski of right now. But you wonder, I think his fitness sort of slipped a little bit while he was out injured. I know he's kind of like a big video game guy, outside of, football. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's like a big gamer. I do really like him, though. I think he caused us a lot of problems. Last season, he tore Ben Davies a new one. I remember last year. He's very good at cutting inside. He has a really good finish on him, too, in Mbeumo. He's a very good finisher. He's a good player. I do love him a lot. And I think he's your typical standard quality Premier League winger. He's not the best right winger in the Premier League, but he's kind of that good measurement of a quality one, the one that obviously can cause most teams problems around the league. And I do like Mbeumo a lot, Darkson G. Something to consider. Maybe better than I know a lot of people do really like Pedro Neto. I love Pedro Neto, but if you were to go for a slightly less injury-prone player, I wonder if Mbeumo is an alternative for a slightly less injury-prone kind of right winger. And then Semenyo, Dark Sun G, that's one that Dave has been a big fan of that I also became a converter of. I really like Semenyo. I think him and Solanke are the two real highlights of that Bournemouth attack for me. I think they're the ones that I'd be poaching away from them if given the chance. Lots of areas that we need to fix, though. Lots of areas this summer. Once again, I think a game like this does expose that. And for me, more so in the forward line, everyone in the chat, I think today was really more so one in the forward line that exposed where we really are lacking and where we need a lot of help. Of course, left back too. Emerson had an absolute howler today. And, it's not going to really be that much better, I'd say, with a Dragusin or a Skip or somebody. It probably would be better. Probably wouldn't have had maybe as calamitous of errors, but still shows that we need to get someone in there over the summer. But yeah, Dave, exposing a lot of weaknesses today.
Yeah, look, to be honest, same old problems rearing its head. It's just not getting any better. And I think that's the disheartening thing about it. Embarrassed again, whooped again, little fight again. Just get this season over. Get us to the Bahamas, Jack. Let us have a pina colada and bloody forget about the tail end of this season. It's been hard. It's been disheartening. Hopefully we finish out with a Europa League spot. That would be, I'll take it at this point. Guys, but the under-21s are still in the hunt for success. Big game tomorrow at midday. I will be doing a watch-along for it. If anyone wants to come in and join me, keep me company, etc. So midday. And big up to the under-21s and best of luck tomorrow as well. Yeah. And hopefully you can get the job over the line. For the rest of you guys, just go and enjoy your Sunday. Forget about it, and we'll reconvene next week and have more discussions.
Dark Sun G, before we end off here, says, hopefully they like Reggie so we can do a swap deal. I think they have liked Reggie, Dark Sun G. He's been providing some assists for them. Dave and I were fans of Reggie ourselves. I think he's helped out Brentford, and he could be useful to them. I wonder if he had some good games, I remember, under Conte, I believe, against them. So that was probably part of the reason why they maybe even brought him in. Maybe they liked what they saw from the guy. And then he would be a good person to strike a Daniel Levy style deal with Brentford, right? Because they need to sell Tony. Tony wants to be sold. And then they have a guy like Reggie, right? You could see Daniel Levy working his sort of bargain basement sort of kind of magic there, trying to scam something out of, Emerson, out of Brentford in that situation. It just sort of strikes a Daniel Levy deal for me with that one. And then Dropkick Your Teacher says, the people that call Ange's tenure a rebuild clearly don't watch his press conferences. Does he mean because Ange, wants to win as soon as possible? Is that what I'm guessing?
Look, Jack, it's something I tried highlighting in the summer. Ange ain't here for the rebuild. I remember saying it. Ange is here to try and win as quickly as possible. Don't get me wrong. I think he understands that he doesn't have all the pieces of the puzzle and stuff like that. But he ain't here sitting here going, yeah, no problem, 4 summer windows, take your time, give me my squad. He wants it now. That's why he speaks the way he does in his post-match press conferences. And I tried warning everybody. He ain't a rebuild manager. He's a guy that you can get you going in the forward direction if you continue to give him the right players and stuff like that. But he has ambitions of winning. He ain't here for mediocrity. He ain't here for failure. And I can tell you now, he ain't here happy to lose. He's not used to losing. He wins every single where he goes. And I tried highlighting that and Dropkick Your Teacher. You're absolutely spot on, my man.
He just wants to win. He is a winner. He is a winner at heart. He hasn't, of course, come to the Premier League yet, but he's won everywhere else he's gone, the artist, and he wants to continue that trend. He wants to be that sort of guy. He doesn't want to accept, going to a level of mediocrity or a level of, just sort of making it. He seems to be a very motivated person by the real return of trophies and real material success. Big up to the artist as well. Dark Sun G says, hopefully since we lost these 4 games, we can go aggressive on signings to help Ange. In my opinion, if we won these 4 games, we probably wouldn't go so aggressive on signings. I think that's something that you and Dave have agreed on in the past, if I can remember, Dark Sun G, because managers have sent messages to the board or have sent messages to Levy by often going for a bold approach, or when they don't have a left back that's really of any sort of convincing quality, instead of maybe putting a guy from the academy in the team or something like that, they'll just put whichever guy that is a professional out there, but we will get exposed and we'll get hurt for it, and it often then exposes what is really needed this summer. And sometimes Daniel Levy has needed those sort of messages, or has needed those very obvious kind of signs and signals of what is needed in the summer, because plenty of times we've kept around guys that probably should have been shipped off, but because they did a job here and there, or because they sort of fill a little, small, unique role, we'll kind of, make do with them and kind of just sort of think that it's okay to have somebody of lesser quality just to have around. But I think Ange is exposing, that he needs quality throughout the team and throughout the squad.
Look, this is why he's not changing tactics and he's not making any adaptations to it, because by doing that, if he does that, and because the only tactics he can make is a bit more defensively, then you're catering to the players that can't play his way. And then the board go, well, hang on, we don't really need to sign this player here. He's good enough. And then that sort of affects what you're doing going into next season. That's why Postecoglou is refusing to play his way and putting the players out there. And he's just simply going, you want this to work? I've shown you what it can do. Now it's up to you to go and provide me the players. And I think he's right to do so, because once managers start changing and stuff and it still goes wrong, the end of Postecoglou, he's had Conte and Jose Mourinho for him, so he'll get away with doing this as well.
Only so many games left here, everyone. Only so many games left. We have Burnley next week. On Saturday, it looks like Man City on the Tuesday, and then Sheffield the following Sunday. 3 games left. We have ridden out a long season here. We've had highs and lows, roller coasters for sure. We do appreciate all of you, though, that have stuck out through these watch-alongs with us. Again, I'll say like I did last time, it is hard to make sense of this team. It's hard to make sense of this road that we're trying to build under Ange, this club, even what Ange is doing or whatever. It's always hard to make the most sense of it, or, to try to, stab at it in the best way we can. And we do try to, and we do appreciate your guys' patience with that and for supporting us in every way that you do, like Dark Sun G has, like Dropkick Your Teacher has, like Patrick from earlier, Carl Knight, Adrian Chia, Martin Knightsbridge. So many lovely people in the house today. And thank you for sticking through these tough games with us. I'm surprised many of you even last, the whole time, the whole 90 minutes with us. But let's hope that we can turn things around against Burnley. That's the game that maybe Spurs fans this season are banking on us winning. Winning against Sheffield, winning against Burnley. Let's hope we can turn it around for those.
If we don't win that, then we're in serious trouble. But look, lastly, what I will say is thank you to everybody. I know times like this, it's tricky, it's frustrating, because we all don't agree eye to eye on how to fix the problems for Tottenham and stuff like that. But one thing I respect about all of you guys out there, and hopefully you respect the same about us, is that we're willing to listen to each other's opinions. And sometimes we're not all stuck in our opinions. Sometimes we will concede and try and understand and stuff like that. So let's keep doing that going forward. Let's not make it a hostile place to be, even though we're losing games. So big up, thank you for the understanding, and we'll see you back here for more therapy at some point tomorrow.
See you back for another therapy session sometime soon, everybody. Join Dave for the watch along tomorrow for the under 21s, and then at some point there'll be a fan show as well this week too, everybody, for you guys to have your chat with us as well about. But big up, everybody. Thanks for continuing to support this channel. In all the ways that you do. Dropkick Your Teacher again has said people can dislike Conte all they want. Some of the things he said still ring true. Today proves that press conference was correct again. Dropkick Your Teacher, that was the controversial opinion that I think Dave and I had at the time, where we felt like, yes, Conte got things wrong. Yes, he might have, sort of made a rod out of his own back, or whatever the phrase is, but he did speak a lot of home truths, and he also exposed, I think, a lot of home truths about this club, about the mentality of some of the players, some of the people that we had been keeping around for quite a long time, that he ended up, sort of exposing himself, I think. And just in general, the fact that we were actually finishing quite high up the table and getting quite close under Antonio Conte, but we didn't really have the stomach, I think, to go as far as he was willing to go in order to win, right? Yes, I will admit, I think he did get things wrong. He, had, sort of a way of doing things that plenty of people would disagree with, but there were good results under Conte, and there were signs that this team could possibly win something under him. It's just we didn't have the cojones, I think, to go all the way with it. And that's the players, the club, even sometimes I think a bit of the fan base. I don't really ever blame the fan base, because they don't really do anything. They're just there to ride the roller coaster. We're just here for the roller coaster. But I think a lot of us couldn't accept some of the home truths that Conte gave. And maybe now, a year or two later, we are really probably starting to accept them more and more, because it's very similar. It's still very similar.
But look, Jose Mourinho also said similar comments, just using different terminology, nice guys and everything else. Postecoglou is also alluding to it lately in his press conferences about the culture and stuff like that. In fact, he's been trying to do it all season. He says, stop asking me questions about top four because I actually want to try and achieve
Hmm.
something. It's not just about
Conte said
top
the
four.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, Conte said the same thing, and this is what I worry about, Dropkick Your Teachers, that we keep making managers look rudderless or look like they don't know what they're doing. We made Conte and we blamed Conte and Jose for being too old, outdated, not knowing modern football, everything else, and now we're putting a label on our hands that he doesn't know what he's doing, he's naive and everything else. One thing I know is we can't keep doing this to managers, and that's where I'm going to end off.
Only a week left until the next little big game, and I think the Burnley
God.
game is probably the one we're most looking forward to because it's one we probably feel there is a chance.
If I don't see 5 goals, I'm going to cry.
Yeah, or he's scoring. I mean, conceding more than one, I think, against Burnley is already painful enough. But everybody will try to bounce back for the next one. A week of content as well, hopefully to help you guys get through it. We do have a summer to look forward to, and more opportunities to try to build out the squad, build a better team for the manager that we have at least right now. And I do hope that we do get through a whole season at least. It's been so frustrating. It's been so toxic and just so frustrating is the right word. But we'll leave you there, everybody. Once again, really do appreciate your support. Appreciate you guys going through these tough games, these tough experiences with us. And I think we'll come out, as always, better and stronger Spurs fans after it. Smash the like button for us if you can on your way out. We'll see you tomorrow. And come on, you Spurs. In the big Ange we trust. Whether you think we're crazy or not, still going to trust in the guys. Still going to trust in this in this team. And we'll leave you. Come on, you Spurs.
I was going to say we never stop, but we have stopped.
We never stop. We're never stopping losing still. We'll see you, everybody.